Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Fans of Power podcast. I'm Tyler Baker, and with me, as always, is the Rotten Amato Joe Amato, and partially, he's back and forth here, is Nasty Nate Kennedy, the Steve Gutenberg aficionado. He'll be with us in certain points of the show, but we are aware that the Game of Thrones series finale is going on as we're recording this. You're probably thinking, why the hell would these guys choose to record this at the exact same time? And, well, Joe doesn't give a shit about Game of Thrones, so he would insist on recording this no matter what.
Right.
We didn't really run it past Joe because Joe didn't pay attention to it. So it's kind of one of those things like we've had pretty good turnouts there as we're recording the last couple of weeks. And, so those who I can't see who's joined us, but those who have during this week, we thank you for putting us as either on at the same time as Jon Snow probably impales the Queen of Dragons. I don't know what the hell's going to happen on that. I'll find out after we record tonight anyway. But
see, all things that you're right. I have no clue until I get these on DVD from Walmart. I have no clue about the series.
Is that something you in or desire to do? Interest you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. After you explained what it was like, I believe it was last week, I was like, okay. I was like, that's something that does sound good, because I had no clue what this series was about, because I didn't have HBO. And when I heard it, I was like, I thought it was back in the old times of England. And then you mentioned, no, there's fantasy, there's magic, there's dragons, there's, I was like, okay, now that sounds pretty cool. So, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And the only way I could do it is through Walmart. And I think that's what you said. They have good deals at Walmart for box sets.
Well, because the series has been out for so long on Blu-ray and DVD. Yeah, I mean, especially with this last season, they're doing like a big promotional push to purchase the older seasons, to coincide with this new one. So if you're going to do it, now would be the time to do it, or wait till Black Friday and maybe they'll be even cheaper then. But they're like $20 a season right now.
Wait, that's actually a good idea. I'm glad you said that, because now that you said this is the
now
series,
you got an even bigger excuse to not buy them.
Hey, talk about procrastinate all the way to Christmas. But I know how they do stuff. I mean, if they're going to sit there and this is their final season and tonight is the last episode, they normally always do that for shows, to where it comes around Black Friday where they do these super cheap deals on the DVD box sets. But yeah, you were like, there probably ain't going to be a lot of people watching, because there's that. Then the people that still watch WWE, as bad as that is, that's on with Money in the Bank. So, but we'll still see who's here dedicated. So
what I'm saying here is, if you're not watching this live, you're not a true He-Man fan. None of y'all are. If you're watching this after the fact, I question your fandom. You're no different than the casual fans who buy their shitty T-shirts at Hot Topic and say, "Sup, bro," with He-Man on it. That's who you are. I'm throwing you in those kind of camps right now. I'm doing it right now.
Well, speaking of shirts,
if you aren't, I expect you to not only view this, but download the podcast on Podbean and on iTunes as well, to show that you are just as devoted, just you relate to the party. If you're willing to do that, you can come back to to our camp.
That's hardcore. Yeah, because I'm going to mention something about that here in a bit too. But speaking of shirts, where'd you get the tank top with that Faker design? I like it.
Well, I got it from the place. I was hoping to get something from you, Joe.
Oh yeah, you'll be getting something from me there. Okay,
I'm sure that I will, there, Joe.
it's like it's just a whole bunch of empty promises. But so TeePublic, that's where you got it.
TeePublic, yes. I just there's a whole slew of shitty designs on there regarding He-Man, but there are some good ones on there, and this was one this is what I want. This hell, back in when He-Man.org was selling those symbol T-shirts, that they actually did this years ago on He-Man.org, along with the battle armor of Skeletor, He-Man, the Horde logo, Cyclone's radar. Why don't you put that on? Make a design for that, Joe, like the radar screen, or they had Mosquito's like chest emblem with the blood coming down. They did all that stuff, and then Mattel's like, "You guys aren't supposed to be having fun with this product. Get them shirts off that website there." So,
is that true?
Yes, yeah.
I didn't know.
Back in the early 2000s, or I think late 2000s, like around like the mid to late 2000s, they were selling, and I actually still have my Battle Armor He-Man tank top and my Horde logo tank top, and I wore. I mean, I can't wear them now; they're too small. But they were. I really wanted to get the Cyclone one, and they had the number from the Starship Eternia. I forgot what it is. It's like the vertical number or the horizontal number that's on the Starship Eternia. There was just keeping it simple, but you know what the designs were. Like they had like the new burst from the cards.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they had that on T-shirts, I think. there was a lot of really cool ideas, and Val and them were forced to take it down, and they had it up for quite a while. And I mean, there was some really cool designs on there, and that's what I found. Some of those on TeePublic, and I was looking for stuff, and I found the Faker recording emblem. I'm like, well, by God, like I gotta have that. So I've also got Overlord from Blackstar. I got just his face on a soft tank top, and I got Jack Nicholson as the Joker, and a really cool kind of pop culture pop art kind of thing. And
I like when they do that stuff. Yeah, that's all right. Well, let me quickly, for the chat room, when you're speaking of the chat room, like I said, we have about 8 people watching right now. We'll see if more come in after. When does Game of Thrones end? 10? Because maybe that's when it'll start flooding in. I don't know.
No. These episodes are an hour and a half. This is the last episode. It may be 2 hours long tonight.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, for people who are so far in the chat room, we have Zentron.
For true fans.
The true fans. Zentron, Grimbot, Zen Brown, Adam Gabbert, Febmon. And I think so far that's at least everybody that acknowledged, but there's more people watching. But no, and thank you for joining us. But yeah, we have a couple of our topics. Obviously, we're going to be discussing He-Man and the Insect People mini comic, a character spotlight on Buzz Off, kind of revisited, some other stuff. But to start off, before we get to talking about Snake Mountain, yeah, there was a couple little messages that I got from some of the fans, and one of them from Pete Monreal. He had a question. It was actually about, how can I phrase this to where I want to make it clean to where he wasn't saying anything negative, but he was like on through YouTube. YouTube usually has like a lot of people that will have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Obviously, we don't have that many. And he was like, well, if you maybe want to try to build up, have you ever thought about doing anything like, Patreons or through YouTube, anything to where people would pay through to do it? And I was like, well, we just, like I said, we've never done it for just the pay aspect. And I can understand people make a lot of money on YouTube doing that kind of stuff, but I know we'll never have that. There's no way the He-Man fan base will ever have, I think, hundreds of thousands of subscribers to, watch us talk or listen to us talk and pay for it. So that's why probably no, through anything through YouTube like that, no, we'll never charge through YouTube because what's the sense? I know
it's safe to say that the casual He-Man fan base far exceeds like the hardcore fan base. Like people who like to listen. Yeah, I mean, it's we've discussed it with people in the community privately, and it's something me and Joe have had a hard time dealing with because somebody pops up with, hey, I'm going to discuss the mystery of Wonder Bread He-Man. 200,000 views. It's just some guy just giving his bullshit opinion. And casual fans are showing up in droves to watch a 15, 20-minute video of some guy giving some nonsense answer, and people are going to take it like it's the Bible or it's the Constitution or something like that. And, but to charge people for something that we're already struggling to get viewers for, I mean, we might as well just shoot ourselves in both feet. I mean, that's just not going to help us out at all. And, it's something that it's strictly a passion. I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable charging. I mean, that would mean we'd have to produce like more and more content. Like we'd have to, do separate commentaries and charge for that, or, or do a special interview or something like that. And given that we've gotten all the interviews we've had already for free, and we've struggled to get people to watch those and download them.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's tough, and because somebody said just cuss because they can see. I didn't want to use the words that he said because he had a couple words where he got a little passionate, so I tried to clean it up because I know sometimes
was it positive about us or negative towards us?
No, it was positive, but it was just like things what he would see like on YouTube, and comparing to other, like other topics especially when it's coming to the Marvel stuff, like talking about things with Captain America and things with Patreons and all the new DC things and a lot of the things where it's other pop cultures. It's like, but you can't really compare that with Masters, and yes, if those people can make tons of money like they're doing, that's great. But again, that's not why we ever did it. We're just sitting here doing it for fun.
It doesn't mean they're making money either. You could put
I don't know.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean they're making jack shit, I just that doesn't. I mean, we have to be doing gangbusters in terms of regular views, and I mean that's, I mean the highest episode we ever did was like over 1,200, and that's because Brian Flynn was on with us last minute to discuss Super 7 stuff. And other than that, we got lucky with the few that hit over 500.
Yeah.
And after that, you look through our back catalog, and it's 200, 300, maybe 400, 180, 150. So to think people would pay for it when it's already struggling to get free, it's that would never help us.
Because this is, again, it's a labor of love, but it's like he brought up one thing which I was lost. I had no idea what he was talking about, and I never want people to do this, but he was like, well, have people do super chats. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? A super? I did. I actually said, hey, you talking about
I've
a
never
super
heard
chat?
of that. I don't know what
I
that
was like,
is.
I don't know what it meant. I guess it's some monetary thing that they could do, like as we're talking, a way of them. Hey, they could give us money down here as we're talking. It's like, don't give us no money. I was like, I don't know.
Don't
if
they
that's
have
what he meant, but
porn live chats like that, like coins and stuff? Like
that's what I'm thinking.
like Joe will show you like his tongue if he give us 5 coins or something like that. I'll give you a nice double bicep flex for 20 coins or something like that.
I'm never going to be asking for no super chat. Just want to get that out of the way. And yes, with Zen Brown, yes, we're going to say that too. The people that were always getting upset with me because I said, hey, that movie is not coming 2019. Trust me, it's still going to be delayed. I'm going to build up. You already know it. I was like, trust me, it's going to be later. Like, it's happening, Joe. It's happening. Well, I was wrong.
Just out of curiosity, how many people are going out of their way to say it's happening, Joe? Are we talking 2 people?
No, a lot, and that's combining my page with a lot of the other groups that I'm in.
What is a lot? Well, give me at least. Is it more than 20?
Yes, it's over 50. These
over
are people that
are going out of your way to say it's coming.
Yes, over 50. And I politely am just letting them know, I'm like, trust me, it's probably going to still be a couple years away.
These are people who don't listen to this podcast because they have not listened to us talk about the fine details of what's not happening in the last 3 years.
And that's why we'll still try to bring it up. Because, again, I never say this in a negative way to them. I was like, it's still probably going to be a couple. They're like, well, if anything, it'll be 2020. It's not 2020 either, because what they just posted was, I believe, March of 2021 is when it's supposedly come out. I was like, wow. Everybody, they were so confident on 19. Then they said it should be 20. Now it's 21. It's like, you see why we don't get excited? We would love to, but I keep saying all a million times, this is why we just don't get excited. But hell, that gives that Noah plenty of time and a good amount of time to put on some weight, because 175-pound He-Man, as much as people want to say, oh, the acting is the most important. Acting is important, but the look. This is one character that has to look the part. He-Man has always meant, even before our property, like I told you, when it was advertised in comics and back in the day, that's just a term that's been used for hundreds of years to describe a big, strong, powerful guy, a He-Man. So when I'm thinking of He-Man, I don't want a ripped 175-pound guy that can do great acting. I want to have a big dude. The guy's got to look the part. Yes, he's got to be able to act too, of course. But if you have the choice of amazing acting with 175 pounds or somebody that can get it to about 220, 240 and still act, I think I'm going to take that.
It's just, getting to 240 without taking steroids is quite easy to do, because I'm around 240.
Explain that. Do that and explain that to people, because some people say you got to be steroided up to do it. Now you go ahead.
My weight has fluctuated from 230 to 240, or a little over 240 in the last couple of years. I just take a pre-workout. It's fun to be accused of steroids, and I wouldn't even know where to get them because I'm so straight edge. I wouldn't even.
You guys should know that. Let me just say real quick. Anybody who'd fucking know Tyler. I mean, this guy does not do drugs. Anybody who knows him and his character, somebody doesn't do drugs. So if somebody say, yeah, I doubt it, he probably no. This dude ain't doing steroids. You listen to what he has to say, and he could definitely get you on the right path of bulking up. But go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah. It's it just takes time and devotion and maintaining that diet. You have got to be thorough in the gym if he really wants to actually live up. If this guy is actually doing his research and not just being like a guy who's just fixated on, hey everyone, taking pictures of me in a pre-production meeting where nothing's getting done. This guy if he's doing his research and is looking up legitimate stuff, not just doing a quick, shitty Google research, like Google search or something like, here's an image. Oh, look, here's a random painting of He-Man flexing like this. Well, that's all I really need. If this guy is really going to do his homework, it really wants to give it his all, which I, don't know this guy, but you don't really get the vibe that this is, he's just, I don't know. I love nothing more to be proven wrong about this stuff. But yes, it is possible to bulk up to that and look even better. And but it just requires a lot and you need lots of prep time to get in the best shape for something like that, because it takes a lot of training and many days a week. We're not talking, 3 days for 20 minutes in the gym like some people like to trick themselves into believing. This takes a lot of time, a lot of discipline. You got to work every part of the body, from legs, all parts of your legs, abdominals, obliques, chest, upper, inner, lower, mid chest. You got shoulders, you got traps, you got all threes, your rear delts, your side delts, your front delts, all that stuff, traps, back, outer lats, inner lats, lower back. All this stuff has got to be worked to build the quintessential He-Man. It can be done without enhancements, However, I know and movie actors have taken enhancements for movie roles, which to me, that's more acceptable in terms of gaining weight for a role. Like you're doing something that's not necessarily positive to your body, but it can be done without steroids. I will tell you that. So yes, because I know one of our listeners, I read somewhere too that didn't feel like that was possible, or I think I may have misread. I don't want to misquote the guy, but I'm just thinking and I didn't want to come off and say, well, I'm 240 and trying to sound all pompous.
You're just basically letting people know that it can be done if they do it the proper way. That yes, it can be done without steroiding up. Okay.
Yeah. It's not as long as you're willing to. Plus, to be motivating to want to feel and be like He-Man, if that ain't motivation enough, I don't know what else is. I mean, Lee Priest, that was his motivation. He wanted to be He-Man. So I just looking at, you grab any image, whether it's Dolph, an illustration Axel or Kevin has done, or Carson or anybody, Earl McCarthy, Earl Norm, Larry Houston, you look at one of those images of He-Man, you post that up, that's your goal. And, as long as you do your research and look, this guy is going to have all the meals cooked for him that are necessary to put on the right amount of weight and keep it nice and lean and bulk up. He's going to have, trainers to help him build up the size, but to also keep him lean as well. This guy is going to it's going to all be given to him if they want to make sure that this guy looks like an Earl Norm poster. If these guys that are directing this film and those idiots at Sony, which, come on, people, it's Sony. I don't need to remind you what botches and abominations they're responsible for. But, for him
as the actor, because I have absolutely nothing against Noah. I've said that. I don't have anything against him. I just said, if anything, yes, I hope the dude bulks up. I mean, if they're definitely dedicated behind it, trying to make this the best He-Man movie possible, if they could try that, then yes, definitely try to make sure he, looks the part, because I'm sure he can act. And I'm not putting anything against him. It's just I'm wanting my He-Man to look like He-Man. I just don't want somebody that's just skinny, ripped 175. It's like he's got to look the part. And
he just looks too boyish already. The guy doesn't have a mature, Adam to He-Man. He-Man should look like a mature man. This guy looks like a boy. It's a picture of a boy like He-Man. It's there's going to have to be a significant transformation. And I'm not saying it can't be done, but he's got a lot of strikes against him already in terms of looking like, a very serious looking warrior. He looks just too young in the face to be playing He-Man. Prince Adam, maybe, but
and you wonder about things because just like any of the photos we've ever seen of the guy, he's always smiling, bright and bushy tailed, looking real happy. But you wondered if, like you said, let's say he did get up to 240, grew the hair out, they kind of got a dirty blonde or something, and he did a serious face in a role. You wonder if even just the expressions are enough to make him look the part. We don't know. It's possible, but you're right. He looks so damn happy and all. Of course, the guy's always smiling. That's good PR. But it makes him look, like you said, he's young, and it definitely makes him look young when you're just smiling, looking happy. But I'm sure it'll be possible. I'm hoping, like I said, that's if this thing really did come in 2021. It'd be great for somebody to look the part, and maybe it'll happen. Maybe. I don't know.
Probably not. And, I don't think we... I mean, look, we've people who've listened to this podcast for years, we've repeated the same damn conversation, the same damn points, the same damn negative remarks and thoughts and connotations about this idea of a movie that will probably never, ever happen. But, it's...
But that's what you just said there again. It's being honest. Like I said, we're not being overly negative, just let's shit all over the guy and the thought of the movie, or overly positive. That was another bit of a feedback we got from one of the listeners, was saying they appreciated our honesty when we do the podcast, because it's something that sometimes you don't see meaning when, just for example, Captain Marvel. when that came out,
Ugh.
that I guess that it brought out a lot of different backlashes, like on YouTube and in those fandoms, to people where they absolutely hated it and thought it was garbage from the go, like this is gonna be terrible. Some people say, oh, this will be fantastic. But they did an interview on Sci-Fi Wire, I believe, with some people that are actually in the industry, as meaning the people that can review those movies early by getting, press passes, getting connections and stuff. And one of those people in one of those podcast interviews even said, hey, sometimes you got to play ball, let them hear what they want to hear. Meaning they're basically saying, yeah, this movie was great, even if they thought the movie sucked. So that's something we'll never do. If we think something doesn't really look that great, we'll say it. And if we think something's good, we say that too. But I'll never give you a fake opinion. It's gonna be real. So it's in context to that. When he was saying that, and I was comparing to Captain Marvel, it's just, like I said, when the new comics were coming out from DC, we weren't just being mean just to say, oh, this is crap, it's terrible, they're doing a complete whole. It's just story-wise. If the stories ain't that good, I don't care how amazing the art is, because the art, I was loving the art, but it's like the stories were bad. I was just saying it. But if people loved it, good. I'm glad they loved it. But go ahead, Tyler.
Well, yeah, but that just continues to further, if people are just constantly being bought and expected because people are looking over your shoulder to verify that you're not making them look bad, then I get that. And if someone was paying me and Joe like a nice big hearty paycheck to say the next latest bullshit DC issue of He-Man hey, we're crossing over He-Man with Teen Titans this time, and He-Man's a little bit younger now, and he's a plucky little defender of Eternia with his little pal Mechanic and that rambunctious little Orko and that bitchy little teen Tila who's got a crush on Robin this week or some bullshit like that. It would have to be a big fat check to be given to me for me to say, guys, it wasn't bad or anything. I would, it's just one of those things that I don't fault people who are fortunate to be in the industry of reviewing this stuff and getting paid to do it. But
Sure.
It's gotten to the point where I think all the days of reviewing stuff and giving a clean opinion, whether it's negative or positive, those days are gone. The whole Rotten Tomato website, that thing is a lump of shit. That means nothing anymore. At one point, that website used to kind of have some sort of meaning to it, but now it's everything's great, and that's really about it. And something like Captain Marvel, where it's pretty safe to say people who are not all about the agenda that Marvel seems to be with a lot of stuff, and not just Marvel, but other properties like DC and stuff like that, where they're pushing certain thoughts and personas for the heroes to say, look what we're doing here. Are we helping, this idea or this thought or this personality or whatever, instead of just tell a good story, damn it. Yeah. And that's all, and that's, I just feel like, they're not going to allow negative publicity for something like Captain Marvel. They're going to focus on whatever minor positivity came out of a review. They're just not going to allow negative feedback that this movie is clearly trying to push. Oh, look, she's a woman and a superhero. Isn't it great? This is something we've never seen before. And it would be great if someone would take the time to run a nice film reel of all the clips of all the kick-ass females that have been in films for the last 20, 30 years.
And there is a lot. Yeah.
But that would take away from the precious appearance of Captain Marvel. Like, she's breaking new ground because she's a female and she's a superhero. We've never seen that before.
Yeah, and that's what I wish people could just understand, that there's just honesty. It's not us doing something to be mean, because what you were just saying there is a lot of people that we're talking about, the Captain Marvel movies or any of the things, other movies that are going on, it's like when they'll say they don't like it, they're getting attacked for not liking it. And there makes
those people who were quick, like if Joe was to come out and say he actually saw Captain Marvel and thought they were really pushing the feminism aspect, like he says it on the podcast, just as a random thought, and Joe was attacked, you people, the people that do that are no better than like the trolls who enter social media pages or chat rooms or whatever, and just start instigating trouble. If you were really a considerate person and really felt sincere about this stuff, then you say, you know what, it's a difference of opinion. You
It
know,
is, because there are the people that, like you said, will be negative, but then there's the ones that give an honest opinion who will get attacked for that, and they get lumped in the category of being like the others. It's like there are differences. Just kind of accept and listen to what people are saying. Like when season 1 of that new She-Ra was out, and I talked about that. I explained everything, and I said, yeah, I wish that, Spirit would become Swiftwind, and it would have been Spirit, not just a random horse or something. And through all my explanations of all that stuff, then when it came the next day when people were leaving comments for the show, somebody said, "Wow, and you're just like everybody else," or I don't know if he called me an asshole or what he said, and just being negative, and you didn't watch all the show because you know why Horsey became Swiftwind, or he said something. I was like,
did he really call
I
Swiftwind Horsey or Spirit
Horsey.
Horsey?
Well, that's the thing, because in this new She-Ra, he's not Swift, or he's not Spirit. He was just Horsey, who became Swiftwind and now is permanently Swiftwind. But I said I kind of missed the aspect of Spirit to become Swiftwind. I was explaining this, but when this person attacked me, I could tell they didn't listen to anything I had to say, and also they knew nothing of the original cartoon because they didn't catch what I was saying. It was me giving an honest opinion, but getting attacked, and them attacking me with not even listening to what I said and understanding the context. So it's unfortunate, but that's what happens. You give an honest opinion and you get attacked. It's like, do you hear what I'm saying? And they don't. They're just blindly wanting to, oh my God, you insulted this new thing. You insulted this comic cartoon. I'm going to rip into you. Listen to what people have to say, because sometimes other people actually have a really good opinion and they're trying to make sense and give some context beyond just, like just doing something blatantly nasty. But they don't get it. It's sad.
Well, plus too, for people to think that these properties that are being rebooted or coming out for the first time, and they're to kind of pretend like you're not seeing how much the priority is to push the motives of this film, not to tell a great story and a great interpretation of this beloved character. It's about all this stuff we need to make sure that the audience sees we're being supportive of women, or we're being supportive of the gay community, or or the lesbian community, or the transsexual, or transgender, or any other, a minority, ethnicity, whatever the case may be. Like I just kind of feel like, I mean, when Blade came out, did it feel like they're pushing, hey, he's the first black superhero to make any money at the box office? Like, no, people just saw that's Blade, the vampire hunter, played by the kick-ass Wesley Snipes.
Right.
Which wasn't that long ago. I mean, I guess 20 years ago, but still, it just feels like it's relatively fresh. And if for Black Panther to act like it's something groundbreaking, I just kind of feel like you people clearly love to ignore history conveniently and act like you're encouraging and you're part of something that's revolutionary and changing things, and like and I'm sure part of that's this mentality of the social media. Thing,
and I was going to say to even other extents, whether whatever level you want to put them on, but we had Meteor Man, we had Blank Man, there have been other movies.
Spawn.
Again, Spawn. It's like there's been other movies. There's been plenty of powerful female characters in movies for years and years. It's like, but again, it's when you're coming out just trying to force something. It's like, yeah, you might get some people pissed when you're obviously saying the message, but don't claim that this is a first or this is something new when it's been done all the time. But it wasn't shoved in your face, and people enjoyed it. But
it's probably what people forgot, or people don't remember that because it wasn't, open your mouth. We're gonna, much like how Vince McMahon would shove like the latest, bullshit superstar down the fans' throat. That's what a lot of studios are doing right now. You think of movies like The Fifth Element, or Aliens, or Terminator, or oh hell, I mean, there's Kill Bill. I mean, we could sit here and just pick apart a lot of movies that star females, and I mean that just have a great female protagonist or lead or whatever the case may be. But I just kind of feel like people just are more about the message as opposed to being entertained.
Oh hell yeah! Look, I mean, you got Jackie.
To me, that doesn't do any favors to people that are, if you're trying to help a certain community or a certain identity by making sure the whole purpose of this piece of entertainment is more about pushing the message as opposed to telling a great story. This person or character might happen, is whatever the choice may be, whatever identity you want to make this person, make it and move on, because you're just I just, oh God, I feel like I'm just kind of rambling at this point here.
No,
You
no,
know,
it
I don't want
sometimes
this
can
to come
become
off like
rambling.
we're doing some sort of like, non-PC agenda bullshit conversation.
No,
I
no,
just
we're
want
not.
people to
It's
shut
just
up and
like
enjoy this stuff.
that's what I mean. Just to enjoy. I mean, hell, like you think of all the Resident Evil series, you think of Tomb Raider series,
As trashy as those films are, yes, there's
and
another
even
one.
yeah, and whether like you said, people like them or not. But yes, you had the Resident Evil series, you had the Underworld series, you had even the Hunger Games that came out recently, where there was nothing with that type of feel. So
Yeah.
there's been plenty of stuff. Jackie Brown back in the day. So
Mad
yeah, we
Max,
just
the recent Mad Max Fury Road, where Charlize Theron had a heavy part as the female action lead in that.
yeah.
I mean,
So it's been there. Like I said, there's great stuff. It's just like I said, just make something fun. That's all we've ever wanted. We go to the theater. We don't want to feel depressed. We don't want to feel like we're being pandered and talked to and talked down to. Just go to see a good ass action, fantasy, whatever it is. That's all we want to see. And come out having a good feeling like, wow, that person kicked some ass. Or that was just a great plot. That was some cool effects. Whatever it may be. That's what we just want to enjoy. So there, we got that out of the way. And before we get to our start getting into topics, there was one more thing about Snake Mountain, which Curtis Ackerman brought up. First, I'll let everybody know that right now, the Snake Mountain, it's at 55% funded, and they got a meter. Isn't that something? They started a meter, but the meter is showing at 55%. That's still up to May 31st for you guys to put your pre-order in. And he brought up something that I guess I never looked at because, like I said, I can't afford this, so I guess I'm not looking at all the details. But the part where the green snake is wrapping around and comes up to the part where there's the door, like the vintage Snake Mountain playset. Well, when the snake comes around, you could see through the part of the door, there's nothing there. So there's like a snake, there's the door that you can see through, and then the head of the snake. And he said, is there a way, he was wondering if people could fill that in? Because I guess in the concept drawing of that Snake Mountain, the exact playset that they, are releasing now, they did draw that in there, but it's not there. And I was wondering, now I know you're not getting it. I'm curious about the fans in the chat room. Is that enough to drive them insane to where they wish there could have been an attachment piece or something? Because I know people can, like you said, when you're looking at something for detail wise and you're putting in a lot of money, you might think, God, I wish I could be there. So I wondered, could Super 7 put an attachment just for the aesthetic of looking at it? But of course, then if you were to play and move it around, yes, it would be off. But I wonder if they could add that. I'm trying to think of things because what's scaring me is 55%. That sounds fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but there's about 12 days left to get that up to 100%. So I'm wondering, is there any last minute extras they could mention, like either?
I just given like I really feel like the price that they've given us and the pictures we've given, that's what you're going to get. I think by this point. To try, because they've already got these people who have already committed to this price with these pictures. I kind of feel like for them to make any changes, it's probably not going to fit in their budget. And Brian may have mentioned this on Road Scooble or another podcast, or maybe on one of his videos he's done or something like that. But if there's anything that people feel like it's lacking, I feel like, well, this is what you're going to get. I can't imagine it making last minute changes and expecting people to. Give more to meet something.
Well, I guess it would be nice, the thought of if they could, but if not, here's the other thing is because I'm thinking there's people that are really on that fence thinking they would like a little something extra to maybe, okay, that would be the push that, that little bit that pushes them over the edge to buy it. Because again, have we heard if there's even going to be box art from Rudy Obrero? Did they mention if there is? Because if
I haven't heard that, but I figured, because I've seen Axel post a lot of sketch drawings of Snake Mountain. I think that him and Native worked on, so I kind of assumed that they might be doing something, or maybe Rudy. I don't know.
Well, if they are, or Rudy, or whoever may be, I'm trying to think of what could be bonuses. Another cool thing that could be possible. You think about the big ass William George wall posters back in the day. Let's say whatever amazing thing they do for the box art. Maybe they could offer that one of those big ass 48 by 32 posters, something as a bonus. It's I feel like just for the fence people, if they could just have some kind of extra, even maybe a figure, something, because it's scaring me the thought of if it doesn't reach 100%, you're not getting Snake Mountain. What do you think? Now, like I said, these are hypotheticals. It's not saying it could happen, but what do you think could be some little incentive that could maybe be added to give that people that little push to figure, okay, I'm going to try to get Snake Mountain?
I don't know, man.
If anything.
I mean, I just honestly, I feel like that price point is asking way too much already. Because not to say that it doesn't justify because of the size of it, but that's asking an awful lot for people to commit to something like that. Given that whatever's coming down the pipeline this summer from Super 7 in terms of pre-orders for He-Man, who knows what else is coming? That's something big to commit to for quite a while. That you got to be willing that whatever car payments, insurance, kids, family, medical emergencies, whatever, you are committed to an extra $100 a month for 6 months. And I mean, I just maybe want if this is completed and they make their quota and there's enough, if there's a lot of concern or interest in like add-ons or bonuses for this, then maybe Brian could offer, Super 7 could offer like, hey, look, if you guys want like an add-on piece or something, we can maybe meet this certain quota and we could do add-ons for people who've already bought Snake Mountain or something like that. But I just given that it's such a feat, and maybe to some people it's not. And I think to some people it clearly is not. Because I think some have even bought multiples of this thing.
Eric Amon. I give it to Eric Amon. I think he said he's gotten 6
for being able to do it. So
6 of them suckers.
If you can afford multiples and sell them on the black market, whatever it is you might want to do with them, I said more power to you. But the vast majority, it's a big to do. I mean, it's a big to do to get these pre-orders. For the figures. I mean, that's it's not an easy feat for everybody, and it's understandable people get pissed off about this stuff, that they want it as bad as everyone else, but clearly
no. And like you said, I mean, it's true, but we already know, I just
can't picture them come up with anything, not a poster, not anything, to encourage
sweeten
people.
The deal, anything to sweeten the deal.
Look, we're what, less than 2 weeks away, right? Less than 2 weeks away from the quota having to
12 days away. Yep.
Unless they were so close and Brian's like, we're like 100 short, 100 more, and we meet that quota. Here, guys, we'll give you a free axle print or something like that. I don't know, but I just kind of feel like it's asking a lot already of fans to commit to something like that, and to ask them, or I just can't imagine. It would have to be something quite substantial. I just kind of feel like a poster or a small pack-in picture or something is not going to be enough to get people to commit to $600 in debt plus. It would have to be a big bonus, not just a poster. A poster's not enough for something like that. I don't think so personally. Maybe a free custom by Joe Amato of your choice. And then Joe gets nothing in return. He's just held at gunpoint and.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I sculpt something, they mass produce it, and they send them out. No, like I said, I'm just having the wheels turning, trying to think if there was anything. I mean,
honestly, I just don't see it given how much it costs. Do you have anything that you feel like?
Well, a poster, again, that was just an idea because I know that back in the day, posters were free, but I know nowadays, you're going to have to be paying to get posters. So for some big-ass wall print.
Posters too. Like, I wish I could buy some of these posters from Mad Duck. Man, $50 to $100 plus for a 24 by 36 poster. That's just a lot of money for a poster. And
that's why, that's why I guess in my head I was thinking, well, if it was Rudy Obrero, or if, like you said, it was Axel working possibly on the box art, if they maybe offered one big ass awesome poster to be packed in, like, okay, that's also coming with Snake Mountain, if that might be enough. Or if just there was some kind of random figure packed in. Maybe there's something somebody missed out on. Maybe a Filmation Skeletor or Filmation He-Man. But I know, again, that could be asking a lot of Super 7 to do. But I'm just thinking what could be a push, because I see that in plenty of the groups. These people say, I just can't do it. Maybe if there was something else, a little more. That's what almost everybody's saying, a little more. Looking at the back of
it, I mean, I could see why people might think it's a bit lackluster. When you look on the interior of it, it's not as epic as you might think. The exterior looks phenomenal. But because they include the blood falls, the bridge, the face, the microphone, the snake, the gate, and everything, it looks wonderful. But
it does.
You got Skeletor thrown in the view screen, but it's just kind of, it's compared to Castle Grayskull, it's kind of empty, But I just kind of feel like for it to be as big as it is, I kind of feel like the interior lacks a little bit of the bang for your buck,
Yeah, Snake Mountain. I mean, as much as I loved it, the vintage Snake Mountain, there was never much to it beyond. Yeah, like I said, I loved it. I loved the little gimmick of going through the tunnel, the part where they would fall through the trap door into the net, and
Yeah,
of course its gimmick, which that's the thing, this will not have. Its gimmick was that damn microphone and you
yep.
making a spooky, scary voice. So yeah, when you look at the inside, it's like, God, there's not really much going on in here, but it
Which
was
is
fun to
fine,
play with.
but that's why I feel like this ought to have a bit more to it, where it's just a big mountain. And you know what? I can't argue that. And I know Brian would say, well, we're just giving you an updated version of the vintage toy, that's what it is. I just feel like at that price point there should be a little bit more of a oomph to it. And and I really can't argue that. It's humongous. I'm sure it will look great. But I actually was surprised to see it already hit 55%. Now, are these pre-orders only
That's
open
good
for
to
a
see.
month though?
Yeah, it's only open for well, this is my hopes. It's open till May 31st. But my hopes are possibly if, like, let's say they were getting damn close, and let's say on May 31st they stopped at 90%. Let's just say that. It'd be nice if maybe they opened that window up for just maybe one more week. They've done it with other pre-orders. Maybe they could open it up for another week or two just to get that extra 10%. Because if it doesn't happen, you're not getting this. This is just, it's not going to happen.
Well,
and for the ones that have that money, the ones that have the money, it's great for them, and they just can't get it though if it won't happen.
That is unfortunate, but I kind of feel like this is not something that, I said this before a few moments ago. I kind of feel like this is something that this has to meet it. Like, this cannot be like a 98%. We have got to hit the bare minimum. Like, it has got to be right there at it. It cannot be 2%, 3%, 8%, 10%. It has got to be the full 100% for something. I mean, this is a big project that they would have to go into for the whole molding and the sculpting and the packaging and the pieces and all this stuff. And who knows what kind of, if mistakes happen with it, and the shipping and all that stuff. I mean, it's a big to do. So this is something that, it can't be undersold. It's got to, but Castle Grayskull went far past the minimum. Like, I think when that came out, because I pulled the trigger hesitantly and did it, and
me too. When I had money back in the day, I did it too. So, yeah.
But even then, like, when they charge you around Christmas time, that's what made me so mad about it. It's like, couldn't you have picked a better time to start docking us instead of at Christmas time when you're taking away $100 from me that I could be putting towards Christmas presents and bills? And I'm like, God. But of course, when it came in, I was glad I had it. But and I'm happy for anybody that could get it. I just
no, we are, and we'll keep updating you guys. Again, it's 12 more days. We'll see what the progress is. Probably, I don't know if they'll do an update this Monday or if they do it on Fridays, but it'd be nice to see something to where hopefully it's still progressing, and we'll keep people.
I'd imagine if there's like a substantial progress in that meter, I'm sure Super 7 will post it to let everyone know, hey, we're getting closer. Because people who've already put in that money, they deserve to know frequent status updates.
Sure. No, most definitely. So, but that's that. Now, I'll pass it to you with whatever you want to start with. If you want to start it with our spotlight or the mini comic discussion, but I'll get to you. And of course, when we finish those up, we'll get to the fans in the chat room. But go ahead.
Yeah, I figure, I guess Buzz Off would, and then we can start with him and then lead into a prominent mini comic. But we from time to time we revisit characters that we've already discussed, and we discussed Buzz Off, I think, on our Leech mini comic episode. I think it's when we discussed Buzz Off, which was probably 2 years back, maybe 3 years back. Have we did this podcast? Or is it 2 or 3 years?
It's 3. It's at least almost 3. Well, God, with episode 180, 50, when we hit 200, when we hit around 200 episodes, that'll be 4 years. So, yeah.
Okay. Because I just know that was when Carson approached me about doing that Leech mini comics. I think we discussed Buzz Off back then, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
But what was really cool about that character, and just kind of stuff I noticed in the merchandising and the publications and stuff, is that Buzz Off was one of those characters that fortunately was used quite a bit in Filmation, mini comics, the books, and merchandising itself. It was because some characters got shortchanged. You didn't see obviously Zodak used hardly at all. Fisto was used some, but like I had Buzz Off pajamas, and I.
You have that? You still got them?
Hang on, I'll get the picture of me wearing them. Hang on here.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. Yeah, because those vintage ass pajamas, they always have the coolest art. Those are the ones where I have the stuff with the T-Rex, and let's see what you got.
I actually had no recollection that I had these as a kid, because the one I do remember was having the Battle Armor Skeletor drawn by Errol McCarthy and the Thunder Punch He-Man thermal pajamas with Thunder Punch and Cyclone on it. But this is proof that I did own the Buzz Off pajamas. As you can see there, little tank top Tyler is laying in bed, in his parents' bed, wearing the Buzz Off pajamas.
How cool is that?
Yeah. So.
That's man, that must be fun having little pieces of history. I mean, memories like that to hold on to when you had it. You're right. He was on he was on a lot of different pieces of merchandise. And when you think of another thing, surprisingly, he was one of the characters, because there weren't many, that was lucky enough to have one of the Ben Cooper Halloween costumes.
Yes.
And also, and beyond just that plastic mask with the smock one, he was one that was lucky enough to have one of the big rubber masks too. Do you remember the rubbered ones too?
I was not aware of that one.
Yeah, there was a Man-at-Arms one and a Buzz-Off one. So he's a character that, while, like you said, was in a lot of mini comics and maybe didn't have a lot of big roles in most of them, he still was somebody you like looking. He had that design. There's some eye-catching, popping about the crazy eye looks, his helmet, his wings, that striped yellow and brown design. It's something that stood out in your collection. I guess they thought maybe he was just cool to look at, but I'll pass it back to you again.
I mean, he really was. I think that's what drew me in as a kid. I didn't own Buzz Off, I think, until sometime in 4th or 5th grade, when I got him as a figure that other kids, it would have been like the early 90s, kids don't like He-Man anymore. So I was picking up He-Man figures where I could from kids who didn't want them. But he was always and I would see him in pictures, and you'd see him on the card art, the cross-set artwork, which was, those beautiful paintings of the figures themselves. They had such prominent looks and poses and stuff. And Buzz Off himself, I just, he's always been, I dare say, one of the most striking visually characters of the entire line. I mean, I think he, there's just something so, and you think about it, it's a B character, but that design for Buzz Off himself, I never quite, when I finally got him, I never quite understood, because I always saw him as just he's got the full helmet on and that was his head. I didn't take it as a helmet piece, but to see he's got the blue eyes and the helmet fits on, because when I saw him in Disappearing Dragons, the helmet's sitting promptly on his head. He's not having adjusted off his eyes. And
right.
So I just took it as one piece. And that's how I still like to look at him is just one whole look, even though I got the commemorative figure over here on the shelf or on the wall over here. But it's just something, a bug character makes sense. And I'm kind of surprised we got Mosquito, but we never got a fly character or, another. We got Webstor, but I never really saw Webstor as a spider character, though. I get it now, but as a kid, Webstor, I just thought was a cool name. He looked cool. I saw nothing spider about him. But,
what's funny is even the head of Webstor, not to cut you off, but even with those extra eyes, even as a kid, I never really looked at him as eyes. I understood what they were doing, but I basically just looked at his main two eyes and with his grappling hook and understood, like you said, spider-like, but he still never felt like a spider. Of course,
I just took that as a design
around
on his head, that he's just happened, like how Beastman has the colors around his eyes. It's just,
and then you realize, those are supposed to be more spider eyes. But as a kid, I didn't you're right. I just took it as just different coloring, and there's his main eyes. But Buzz Off, you're right. To me, again, he always looked like he was smiling. He just looked happy how his face was, and I was happy to see him in Filmation. I wish I could have seen more, because when we seen was still cool. We got to see that kind of vision, how he could see through things like waterfalls and through shrubbery or whatever. And we got to see him have his, that kind of stinger lance.
That is something that it always bothered me when I came across the cross-set artwork a little bit more as a kid and saw that he just came with an axe. Thought the stinger lance, that was a brilliant addition that Filmation gave him, and that NYP carried on with that. Even though it was more of an axe, but it still came off like a stinger staff almost. And I just thought that's something that has always been embedded as a trademark for Buzz Off, is that that stinger lance that he's got. God, it was such a, I'm glad that he's got the axe there too, but I just love that Stinger Lance. To me, that's my favorite Buzz-off weapon.
It is because the figures. It's real quick. Let me say hello to El Tanda, Lacey Dean. I think there was Hold on, I just want to make sure I got a couple of the other people that joined us. Tags Animation joined us. I thought there was one other person, and if I missed you, damn it, I'm sorry, but I thought there was somebody else. But
And all those people must be pissed off with the series finale of Game of Thrones.
I don't know, but it seemed like some more people came in. So yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe
Welcome all.
Left break. Definitely, but yeah, thanks for joining us. But Buzz-off, as for his weapon, like you said with the figure, I never really had him play with it. It was like a hell of a thing to try to get it proper with this claw. It looked awkward. You know what I mean? It's just
plus when he holds it from the side, like when I finally did get it, like with the axe too, I just felt like had I had him as a kid, I mean, of course, I'd have played the hell out of Buzz-off, but using that axe in battle when he's holding it. Like to have him fight, Spikor, like he's hitting him with the blunt side of the axe, and you just kind of feel like it kind of takes a little bit of the fun, unless he has like the power punch thing. But it just that's why I never felt like him and Clawful, if they can't hold the weapon, they really don't need the weapon.
Why did you bring up Clawful? That's the other one.
Their hands are weapons. They're claws.
Yeah, a disaster. Yeah, I did not. I never liked that green accessory weapon for Clawful either. It's just when I played with him, it was just that clamp. I just loved the clamp of his
like
claw.
his massive claw, like that was his weapon. He didn't need anything else. And to me, Buzz-off being able to fly with his electronic bee wings, which I thought was such an amazing touch. Not that I want to see somebody trying to explain, well, Buzz-off has bionic wings because he had this tragic accident, in the honeycomb hives or something, and he's got bionic. Like, no, don't explain this bullshit. Just it's there,
Yeah, because as we said before, like in Filmation, when he pops up in there, you don't see the cybernetics on his wings. They're just wings.
They don't come off as cybernetic, and it's just something that the toy had. And honestly, I kind of prefer it that way, They don't need to be cybernetic,
Yeah, which I told you the one time, that's why when Webstore shot those, arrows parts through his wings, I was like, oh, God, that must have hurt because those are wings. It's not cybernetic. And if you even looked at his back, I always tell everybody, if you look at the Filmation design on his back, you see like fur. So you can tell that's like, it goes into
part of his body, like it's like muscles almost, and I'm glad they pretty much carried that over in NYP too, and I loved their portrayal of Buzz-off. I liked his voice a lot. I mean, Filmation was by far my favorite, but I appreciated they kind of made Buzz-off a bit of a hothead, and that or a little bit.
You definitely got a lot more of them.
We got more.
You got more of them.
That was something that I did appreciate about NYPSI from the problems I've had with the series over the years. But they did manage to, in one episode, whereas Filmation, you were lucky to get one, let alone two new heroic warriors in one episode. In NYP, you could have Mechaneck, Manny Faces, Ram-Man, Buzz-off, and Roboto in the same episode. Like, that was just unheard of. So it was super exciting to see as much Buzz-off as. And then he had a prominent role that. We saw him as the leader of his people, the Andrenids, and of course he answers to a queen, which makes all perfect sense. But making him a bit of a stubborn hothead, I thought was not a bad personality trait to give to him, where he's hesitant to align himself with the Avions and the rest of the heroic warriors. I'm not going to call them masters, even this far down the road. And we'll get into that with He-Man and the Insect People too. But I like that, and as we discussed in in older episode 2 in Buzz-Off's Pride, where it really plays off the fact that he's a hothead. I thought that was a great character trait for him. That his stubbornness and thinking that he's a great warrior, and he is, but not willing to admit that he can't handle everything on his own, that he can't tackle every adversary that's in front of him because he must do it alone. Like I thought that was a great learning experience for him in that episode, and I absolutely hated that episode when it came. And I think a lot of people did too when it first came out. But I have no idea if it's become more appreciated, and maybe we have to do a commentary for that because as an adult, I think it's a great episode, and I really love those three giants because I was bothered that it wasn't something that resembled like a Megator kind of thing.
Oh, I know.
And that it wasn't a more of a villain or villains that we were more aware of. And I have since learned to appreciate those three giants, and that episode as a whole is a pretty damn good episode.
No, and it was like you said, it was good for them to expand upon him in MYP because when it came to Filmation, he had just basically 4 episodes. I think I'm not, I can't remember the
He
amounts,
had
but
Island
not
of
many.
Fear, Disappearing Dragons, The Good Shall Survive, which I actually rewatched today. It's got some
That
hokey,
was pretty
campy
good.
moments, but it's still a good episode. Though. I like the Tycons. You do a custom of Tycor. That'd be pretty badass.
That was pretty cool. I like how when that honey woke them all up and everything, because they thought, they were like, just all extinct, they were gone, and that brought them back. So,
Yeah.
no, I think he would.
And we
Yeah,
got Web
Tycho
Sword
would be
Cobra
a cool.
Khan in that episode too, which had I seen that as a kid, I saw it on VHS bootleg, but had I seen that episode where you got Buzzoff and Cobra Khan and Web Sword again in another tag team episode where they're kind of linked together, I'm like, this has been phenomenal. And to see more of the actual B people themselves, I just thought that was I was Buzzoff's one of those few characters that I can appreciate knowing that he comes from a colony of people like him. Whereas everyone else, I just feel like it's nice to know they're one of a kind. I don't. We've said this before, but it's just.
And his people, to me, always felt naked. I don't know why. I've seen them kind of like bald head and how it went smooth as skin.
They're not where they don't. They're not covered as much. Whereas Buzzoff just feels like he's. And I just kind of feel like maybe they just kind of didn't look at Buzzoff as much. Like, don't copy Buzzoff, but you could take that and just I don't know. I feel like it could have been which it was in MYP.
Because for somebody that no problem. No, but for somebody that only appeared in 4 episodes and had multiple mini comics and other things with merchandise, I still wish there could have been more where he just not saying he didn't really do a lot, but I mean within a lot of the mini comics, which he appeared in a good amount of them, sometimes he was just there in the background or to say one word or a sentence, and it always pissed me off because I wanted more of Buzzoff in action. There was even, I know you don't read many of the Ladybird books, but there was even one of the Ladybird books where it was I think it was He-Man and the Asteroid of Doom. His whole purpose in that, I think, was just to go see what Skeletor was doing at Snake Mountain in one panel, maybe. I think that was it. I was like, that's it? I don't know. I guess, and I know we had him some Golden Book, but I don't know. I wanted more,
I guess, honestly, and the character definitely warrants, a book of like a story of just him and He-Man teaming up, or even more of him, He-Man and Mechanic, because since seeing Disappearing Dragon as a kid, I have forever linked those two because of the banter and the camaraderie those two had. It carried over to Search for a Son because I think that Buzzoff is in the episode, I believe, for a bit where Count Marzo kidnaps, Mechanic's son, and as He-Man.
I think you named
people.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But anyway, I just always thought that was such a great team up, and Buzzoff is a character that I really feel like I've said it before. I get tired of seeing Man-at-Arms and Teela in every story with He-Man. Like they're always the ones that team up with He-Man. Like there should have been more of He-Man and Buzzoff team up, or He-Man, Buzzoff, and Mechanic teaming up. And Buzzoff is such I think a universally recognized character with a lot of He-Man fans, not just hardcore fans, but I think with even some casual fans too. That if you were to go to a casual He-Man Twitter account or Facebook page and you said, people, do you know who this character is? I think Buzzoff is it would not be one of those characters that people say, I don't know who that character is. I stopped collecting after Zodak.
This ain't being a boner killer for some things, but I'll let you know that I did see in a couple of the groups when people didn't quite know who Buzzoff was, they called him the Bug Guy. I'm like,
oh my God.
Yeah, every time I see it, I'm sure people in the chat room could attest to that. I've seen a lot of people call him the Bug Guy. I was like, wow.
Just when I think I start to have faith in this fan base, and then the people are just like, is that their bug off guy?
But no, it's unfortunate. He did get called that. Now, as much as I love that vintage figure and love seeing him in Filmation, I did, like I said, seeing how I loved his design in MYP. I got to give it to that. And like you said, they did make him a hothead, and he had a little bit of temper, but we got to see more action from him in battle. And this is just my opinion. Not saying it's yours, and anybody should agree with me. But if they were to add a Buzzoff into a possible movie, I would like somebody looking a little more intense or some kind of crazy more design, maybe leaning a little more towards MYP, meaning I wouldn't want a kind of the smile face, which I loved as the toy and I loved in Filmation, but I wouldn't want that kind of look. I kind of maybe an amalgamation of both of them, a design of like the vintage and MYP's kind of. I liked how MYP made him more a little ganglier, if you will, a little skinny, but he's still
Yeah,
toned
no,
and ripped and muscled.
I understand that. Look, when it comes to like a movie interpretation, like I would never say it's got to be strict to Filmation, but Filmation got the character portrayals pretty much dead on for the core cast. Aside from secondary characters like Spike-Ore and stuff like that. I mean, that's not debatable. It's not up for debate. It never was, because there's nothing to debate.
Would you want a more intense? Like I said, just picture him in a movie. He could probably be very striking and intimidating.
Honestly, I just kind of feel like I would like to see Buzz Off more pumped up, though. I just feel like that, even though, you know what? Yeah, I would say because he's like there's a scene in Buzz Off's Pride where like he gets bombarded with like a bunch of trees falling on him after fighting with the giants. And he, picks up a tree and lifts it over his head like a rather large tree.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be. Yeah,
he looks
like that.
very, very imposing like that. So yeah, I'd say don't make him like all like small and gangly, but he needs to be prominent but insect-like in his appearance, but also looks like this guy could whip your ass just by looking at him.
He's a character that probably would have to be a CG character. I'm sure he would probably.
Clearly,
have to
but
be.
you could for standing around, because I imagine there would be times where he would be standing talking to He-Man and Man-at-Arms. He'd be standing on the ground. You get someone in a green, so like an Andy Serkis or something like that. I'm sure Andy Serkis could do like a Buzz voice, and I'm not saying everything you have to say would have a zzz, because I'm sure people would laugh at it and not in the good way.
You don't want the Bill Cosby?
I'm telling you, when I was listening to watching,
he was waiting.
No. But when I'm listening and talking, I'm thinking that asshole Joe is sitting there saying he sounds like, I'm the Buzz. Say,
I was wondering if you were thinking the whole time, is he going to bring up that damn Bill Cosby thing? Because I usually do every time.
I expected it because Joe thinks he's Mr. Funny Man, and I'm surprised Joe doesn't put up like a
Buzz Off with a pudding pop.
Or a Buzz Cosby or something like that. Buzz Off with a Bill Cosby sweater on his T-Pub because he thinks he's Mr. Funny Man.
You just did it. Bill Cosby wore the striped sweaters. It could work perfect. Buzz Off with his stripes there. I can give him a pudding pop to see if he got the buzz. I'm going to do it. Now you asked for it.
Yeah, and the caption says, see, you got the buzz. See? Ha, 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 ha.
I like it. There you go. Oh, and also, JSP and Papa Hud 69, thank you for joining us in the chat.
You do realize with this kind of humorous stuff, you're part of the problem of what the shit I see on all these websites with all the phony baloney. I'm so funny, quirky, and witty bullshit.
So damn you, Joe. That's why we get the He-Man, you sup, bro, do you lift? And you get those kind of shirts is because of the nonsense.
Yeah, or Skeletor Sam, yeah, or Got Meow, or Skeletor holding a baby panther, like all this stupid shit. God. What happened to the balls and the machismo of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe?
I don't know. Maybe it'll come back someday. But that's our kind of revisit of Buzz Off. But now we're going to get to a mini comic, and again, this
Buzz Cosby. I'm going to kill you.
That's thanks a lot.
And the pudding pop's going to have stripes on it too, right? Instead of the swirl, it have like bee stripes on there, like honey swirl.
I'll think of something creative that'll drive you nuts and hopefully would make you go insane. But but that was our thing with Buzz Off. Now, before we get to the chat room with any other questions, we're going to now discuss He-Man and the Insect People mini comic, which to me, I remembered as a kid. This was one because you see Buzz Off on the cover. I thought he was going to be, and it's good. It's a great mini comic. Don't get me wrong. But I was under the assumption that it was going to be all about him and his people because, it said the insect people. And I remember reading it. I was slightly let down. We didn't get enough, for me, enough Buzz Off or more. And plus, I really thought I was going to focus on his people, but you get like the Kex people, which is still a cool story. But you can start off with it. We could just pick apart, things there without giving the whole story away.
It had been so long since I had read this story because when I went back to just refresh myself, even though I pretty much remembered it, but I'm like, God, this was such a short story. Like it was, and it's a fun story. It's a simple story too, but I think it would have been a great opportunity to have explored. And for me, this was something that I remember it would be many years before I actually owned this mini comic, and it was something that I heavily sought after because of Mechanic and Buzz Off on the cover, not being able to read because this is way before I ever had the internet. So I remember there was I forgot what figure it was, but there was I think a Prince Adam figure that my dad had bought me, and he bought me two of them. But I really wanted the one that had He-Man and the Insect People packed in, because to me that was the closest I was going to get to actually being able to see that cover. And of course, he eventually did get it for me. So I ended up with two Ben Encore Prince Adams. But I was so intrigued by that cover because it was so cool to see Buzz Off and Mechanic on the cover with He-Man. I'm like, this is going to be an amazing mini comic. Where I don't know, Insect People, is this about Buzz Off? And then when I finally saw it many years later that it wasn't, I still thought was just fine. And that Beastman is the villain in it, which was cool that he's working on his own.
The main role.
The main role.
I like that.
Yeah. That's something that I feel like this would have been a great Filmation episode.
Yeah, and it's something that's kind of overlooked at time about Beastman in general, especially with mini comics, is you don't think that he did have his starring role in a way here. This was his plot. It was something he wanted to do, of getting those eggs. And just like I said, to see him starring in it, along with a new group of type of insect people, these Kex people, it like I said, it still made it good. Plus the beautiful art of Alcala. But yeah, I was, like I said, I thought there was going to be more buzz. So as a kid, I was really let down. But the more I read it, the more I enjoyed it. And this is also just to let everybody know, because I own up to any mistakes. I'll never say edit this out of the podcast what I said a week or two ago, because I had a brain fart. Yeah. But yeah, I was reading this 2 weeks ago when we did the Caverns of Fear discussion. That was the image that was in my head. I was like, where the fuck, when they keep saying, I was like, I know it was in Caverns of Fear. I know it was. But then this was the image where He-Man's holding up Beastman above his head that Dushin used as inspiration for the return of Faker. So
it's clearly featured. I didn't know if Joe had you seen the image in the Return of Faker?
Well, I couldn't remember if that was one of the promotionals that they used for the Return of Faker, but I know I've seen it.
It's in the clips that are available. So if you do watch it, like this clip, it's used as Faker holding Beastman in the exact same pose.
That could have been it, because I know that everybody talked me into watching maybe the original or just one clip. I was like, I'm just going to watch one thing.
You haven't watched any of it.
No, I thought there was the one, just one, and maybe that was the first one.
There's two clips.
Then I only seen this one where I thought Faker was holding Beastman above his head. That's the one I think I said. Or maybe it was an image, but I know I seen that
image. It may have just been an image, but the second clip is him meeting the evil warriors, and they attack him. And of course, it eventually leads to that image of him hoisting Beastman over his head, which is, quite an iconic image that Dushin decided to use on that one too.
And it was a perfect one. And I was talking quickly. I might have said He-Man earlier, and I didn't mean to say that Grim when I was saying Faker. Yeah, I mean He-Man. I did mean to say Faker holding Beastman above his head. See, that's what happens when my head it's running 100 miles an hour anyways when I'm talking. But yeah, that was the image that was in my head from 2 weeks ago that I screwed up. But in this comic, like I said, you're going to see that it's a plot. There's earthquakes that are going on. That's what starts it all off. I remember that, I always remember seeing, for me, King Randor just looked so kind of elderly and kind of helpless, and just, I don't know, something about that thing I wasn't much into but I see what was going on. There's an earthquake going on. They got to see what's happening. Adam turns into He-Man, tries to get everybody in the clear. They're trying to figure out what the hell is going on, and you find out it all has to do, well, of course, when they talk with the sorceress and she leads the way and she lets them know where to go, then you all find out it's about these eggs, that Beastman wants to take the eggs from the queen of the Kex people, so obviously he could have them hatch, be under his control, almost like how you said with the eggs and the dragon eggs, or something like with Skeletor. As long as they could hatch, in the episode,
Dragon Invasion.
Disappearing Dragon Invasion. Thank you. Yeah, I got like a little vibe of that. It kind of felt familiar. Like they hatch for me, I'm the one that'll be able to control them.
Yeah,
seemed like I guess.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it is, and it's a short story. Like it's 4, of course.
How many pages?
Well, it's 14, but it just kind of feels like, there's just 2 panels per page, essentially. Like there's not, I take that back. It just flies by. Like there's not a whole lot of dialogue. not as many panels broken up. Like on page 8, you've got 5 panels. Essentially one action going on. It's a lot of I mean, it looks great. I'm just saying it goes by really fast because it's not broken up much, which is fine. I will say my favorite image of this is the quartet of He-Man, Teela, Mechan, and Buzz-Off going down into the core of eternity through this cave.
Oh, that was a cool piece.
And that's an image I've always wanted to see drawn of He-Man and the Heroic Wars, like He-Man leading the way with assortment of Heroic Wars going through this cave, and they all looking around like you don't know what they're up to, what they're going after, but just something about them exploring a mysterious cave. That's something I just always envision with He-Man and the Master of the Universe. It's just one of those things that it tells a story. You don't know what it is, but there's a story right there. You could just draw this image alone. And that's something I would love to see somebody else do, like a beautiful illustration then coming through this cave and creatures crawling around and giant spider webs.
And that's what I always get from like a lot of the artists that worked onto the mini comics back then. But some of them, you wish that the text maybe would be away or something could be just one clean picture. Because I'm saying each one is just a beautiful piece of art that you would love to frame. They're telling a story. If you could tell a story within just the art itself without words half the time, you're doing something right. As Larry Houston has always said, tell the story with and his pieces. Those are other ones that I would just like to have framed, especially like a Dragon Blaster Skeletor, like on the other side of the cover, that one piece where you flip open the cover and he's there as Dragon Blaster Skeletor.
Oh, and he's holding out the sword?
Yes, that's the one that I told you. I had 2 of those. One that I have, obviously together, but I remember as a kid, I ripped that and it was like a little mini poster for me. I wish somebody could get that and blow it up and sell that. I'd buy that sucker.
Well, probably someone could alter a little bit of that and throw it on a particular website. Maybe change the dragon to purple or something like that to avoid any kind of copyright bullshit.
Could you imagine they pull it, they sue me? I'm like, but I didn't do nothing.
Let me tell you, there is a lot of stuff, and I've seen text of characters used on these shirts. And I'm thinking, this shirt's been on here for many, many months. I've come across this particular design many, many times. No one has pulled it. Apparently, it's not pissing off anybody here. Plus,
I'm curious about? This is, not to interrupt you, but, I think it's something, but I did. I think sometimes it's the popularity of a fan that can catch the eye, because let's say He-Man was super hot. They might be scrolling through these things, they have something taken off, and here's my example. I did draw a completely unique Skeletor as the Punisher skull, but it was Skeletor's design. I elongated it, and I called it Punisher, not Punisher.
Man,
but
Joe. No,
you gotta let me finish. No, you gotta let me finish. I did Punisher, put it up, looked cool as hell. It was taken off a week later because I think that at the time was when Disney was starting to crack down on anybody using any Marvel design thing. And I was like, but that's not Marvel's Punisher. I was like, I drew this myself. And they're like, nope, it's too close. It says Punisher. I was like, no, it doesn't say Punisher. It says Punisher. It didn't matter. I sold a couple, but like I said, by that next week, it was taken down because it caught their eye. And
given all the Marvel stuff I've seen on TeePublic right now, I think a lot of it comes down to how they label the stuff. If you
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
Well, yeah, like if you were to put up, the Errol MacArthur like card art for Buzz-Off and just call, Spy in the Sky by JoJo. I kind of think that would, help, because I've looked at that stuff because, I know people who do this, they want to avoid, pissing off the wrong people and being able to sell their artwork or sell a cool image that they tweak a little bit and, make commissions off of it. And I just kind of feel like, well, there's some pretty, prominent illustrations of stuff that, is either I've seen before. Like I've seen the Wonder Bread card art that McCarthy did on T-shirts with the names like Skeletor, Hordak, the Slime Pit.
I started avoiding. Yeah, I did. I just started avoiding because I think they'd come
honestly,
after me.
It's not necessary, but when I am still seeing it to this day, it almost comes off like and how they're named, like how you name this image in your, when you bring
in
it up.
In the title of it.
In the title
because
of
I
this
never,
design is called,
right.
Mojo Jojo.
And I've never done that.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I've never done that. When I've done any title, I've never named it like He-Man or Masters of the Universe because, and the same thing, even when I do the shirt itself, I will never put that on there because that could be trouble. So, like when I did Lizard Man, I drew Lizard Man in the look of He-Man's I Have the Power. So nowhere did I see He-Man or Lizard Man or nothing. I think it just said, I think I just drew Lizard Man. That was it in that pose. And like I said, that was me drawing it. There's never been Lizard Man buffed up holding the power sword. So they obviously could tell, well, I didn't just take it and swipe it from Filmation.
Well, I'm sure anybody at TeePublic is going to even know who the hell Lizard Man is anyway.
Like a lizard, what? Yeah, so some things you got to be careful with. But yeah, so the He-Man and the Insect People mini comic, like I said, it is short, just like Tyler said, it's a short one. It's great to look at, beautiful art, a cool new group of characters introduced, and you get to see Beastman being the star in a way. Yes, he gets taken out at the end, but yes, to see him doing something where it's his plot, he's trying to steal the show and do the mini comic.
He's not doing it for Skeletor. He's doing it strictly for his own gain. That's something he makes quite obvious. It's for his purpose only. It's not in the name of Skeletor, which and like I still like. I mean, this image of like He-Man and Buzz-Off trying to save Teela from the spider. Like, I love to see someone do like a brand new illustration of that and just kind of make it bigger. Make the spider even more vicious and make the parallel of Teela even more dangerous and throw Mechanic in there and like He-Man getting ready to attack the spider. There's certain images in this I would love to see an homage done to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like something that Mad Duck Posters would probably do, and I wouldn't be able to afford it, but it still would be cool if
No, there's a lot of iconic pieces like that.
Yeah.
But if somebody could redraw many of things that are in that mini comic, and hell, I mean, explore. See, that's what I'd wish that if we got more mini comics or things where they can expand upon stuff. Maybe we could have seen more of the Kex people. We could have seen more stories like
if
that.
someone would actually acknowledge my talents and allow me to expand this and not create my own, create new nonsense, I could give you more of what's in these books and just not recreate or redesign. It's like, no. What people like, I could give you more of that. Just someone's got to give me that opportunity. Just give me a chance. I'm like Ace Ventura. I'm not ready to go in, coach. Just give me a chance. I'll even wear a damn tutu and mess my hair up if I got to and do it in super slow-mo. But I have got what it takes, and I'll even do it in instant replay.
Sitting back down in reverse and everything. Right. Oh, shit. All right. Well, now this is the part of the show where we're going to ask people in the chat room. You can ask us any questions you want, mini comic, cartoon, movie, toys, or any other properties if you want. Hit us in the chat room right now. And while you're doing that, I'll pass it to Tyler in case, Tyler, if you have any recommendations for a mini comic, cartoon episode, or something for fans to check out.
I'm going to call this a new segment called The Reading Rainbow Warrior. And if you're familiar with Reading Rainbow, it's a show about books and learning and things like that. And a book that we covered a while back, it coincided with what we did last week, which was Teela's Secret, which is much like the episode Teela's Past. And in that story, it was the first Golden Book I ever got as a kid, like the Golden Book hardcover. And, distressed Teela. And I encourage you, we have covered this book in a previous episode. So either to encourage you to check out this book and to check out a past episode, kind of works both ways here. But Teela is sad about not knowing who her mother is, and Skeletor observes this weakness, and it pisses off Evil-Lyn that he's showing interest in, kind of coaxing Teela to put her under a spell. And Evil-Lyn was even jealous back then and decides to seek revenge by going to Hordak and insists on, teaming up with him to get back at Skeletor, which causes the Horde to come to Eternia. Teela is now working for Skeletor. And, it's a big battle ensues, too. It's a wonderful story. Stridor's in it. Members of the Horde. It's got one of the coolest appearances of Grizzlor I've ever seen in any interpretation. In that version of Hordak, too, there's a beautiful splash page in this book of Hordak with his arms crossed, looking super serious. Evil-Lyn looked with her hands on her waist, looking evil and seductive, and Grizzlor looks like he's just ready to rip off tear out the first neck that he's instructed to. And he's got a cool, Hordak's got a cool vehicle called the Light Cruiser in it. But, if you really like the episode Teela's Past, and are just like, I mean, it's just a good Tila story too, and it's a great Horde story. It's just one, I think, one of the most underrated stories. But so I suggest you check out, the episode. I forgot what episode it is, but we cover that, and you can check it out on He-Man.org under their publications section. And so that's my recommendation this week is Tila's Secret from Golden Books. But you don't have to take my word for it.
There you go. Reading Rainbow. All right. Thank you for that new segment.
March 5th, 2021. Oh, yeah.
All right. All right. Hey, there's Nathan.
We got a troll who's coming in here to start shit.
Yeah, he's going to start it right when I'm going to start asking questions. So Zentron had a question. Zentron says, what do you think? What do you think was the dumbest vehicle in the Filmation He-Man series? Now, for me, it's just okay. Again, not picking on it. I love the toy because it was an awesome toy, but seeing Dragon Walker in that damn cartoon,
I knew it.
Oh, it was. I could not stand the Dragon. No, I'm sorry. I was like, oh god, I love the toy. I loved making it go across. Like I would create these little like chasms and shit for it to go across, and it was awesome to look at. But in the cartoon, not so much. So I'm going with Dragon Walker in the cartoon. What about you, T-Rex?
I say it's because Filmation didn't use it, the way it should have been. It's an all-terrain vehicle to get over, rocky terrains or chasms and giant gaps and things like that. And they just have it as we're just going to go across a fertile plain. It just was not used the way it should have been, like in the episode Frady Cat. It clearly is depicted as a very piss poor vehicle in that sense, but that's. But
it didn't help when James. Remember when James did that damn video where it was taking forever? I lost my shit when he had to do that with the Dragon Walker.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, you'll have to talk to James about that sometime.
Yeah. But I really don't have one because I was just happy to see any of them. I would say probably I just got tired of seeing the Wind Raider all the time. It was always the one that was used. I love the attack track, but it'd have been nice if we got to see Stridor more or we did, I can't even say that against the Winter because it's such a classic vehicle, but it was just used so much, but it wasn't a bad vehicle at all. Really, there isn't one. There isn't a bad.
Just maybe not your favorite because you've seen the overuse of the Wind Raider. It was like, but it wasn't bad.
None of them were bad. Everything that we ever got in the toilet or in the cartoon, MYP, that's another story. I can give you a bad vehicle in that one, like the Spitbull. But in Filmation, really, I don't have one. I don't have one Filmation.
Okay. All right. Okay. But thank you for that, Zentron. Zentron has a movie quote that I don't know. It says, it's a catch as catch can. I'm making a salad. These guys are planning to cook grease burgers for themselves. Wait, what? These guys are this is going to be something I probably should know. I don't know.
It's probably Police Academy 3,
Hey, man.
Okay.
Was Gutenberg in Police Academy 3?
He was in most of
them. Sweet Jesus.
You know what? I'm going to go with Cocoon on this one.
All right. Well, we're going to hold on to Cocoon. Thank you. Grim
I was just like, all right, whatever. Next.
Grimbot says, how was the... Oh, he's putting me on the spot. How was the second season of She-Ra, Joe?
Yeah, Joe, how was it?
Oh, you watched it already?
Yeah.
Oh, how the hell is it you didn't bring that up?
Because that could go on a while. That's why I'll try to do a quick...
We'll have people come out and say you hate gay people if you come out and say anything negative about it, right?
Well, here's the thing. I'll make a short version, but maybe next week I'll expand upon it. But here's the thing. What's sad is, this is obviously, it seemed like it really still should have been a continuation of season 1. It doesn't feel like a season 2. But anyways, it was only 7 episodes. And when the only... Yeah. No, check this out. This is what is always bizarre. The only thing anybody has mentioned about season 2 in all these groups is, wasn't it so cool to see them in their Filmation outfits in that one episode? Let's roll with it. It's the one when they're like playing a version of Dungeons and Dragons.
Hot damn!
Now let me say something. That says a lot about the show because that whole little clip where, by the way, that was not an homage to the original Filmation because you hear how they're mocking it and doing I told you Marcus Scribner in those interviews when they were promoting season 1.
That's the asshole that plays Bo, right?
He's the one that does Bo, and he's the one that in all those interviews said Bo was mechanical and was like, She-Ra, let's go save the village. That whole line. I was like, oh, that's great. And he said Well, that's what I mean. And he said, I watched a couple clips. That was his whole, line of studying. And the whole cast is laughing as he's mocking the original show. Well, yeah. Well, sure enough, in this episode, it's his whole fantasy is these looks and designs, and he is talking over the top superhero. I'm like, oh, so that's how apparently Bo talks. Because not only did he mock him in those interviews, but now into the show they do it, and they're doing all these puns about meow and fine, or they're doing there are too many puns they're doing because they're trying to mock that. Hey, Filmation had puns, as if all shows never had puns in cartoons, but they went over the top with that. But that's the only thing people said was, I like the looks. But isn't it funny, though? Everybody says the original Filmation cartoon was shit. The animation was horrible. The cartoon was just, terrible. The designs, everything. But you guys are loving this. And this is what I mean. This is what I'm getting at, Tyler. That was the only thing people mentioned. In this episode, they were trying to figure out a battle plan of getting into, to infiltrate the Horde. They finally get there. Everybody is doing what they have to do, showing their powers, doing stuff. You finally see She-Ra. She's battling Scorpia, probably less than 5 seconds. This is her whole screen time as She-Ra fighting. 5 seconds where she's using a sword and Scorpia is blocking with her claws. She finally grabs She-Ra by her wrist. I think she disarms her, is ready to take her out, and here comes Glimmer. My point is, when I'm wanting to tune into He-Man or She-Ra back in the day, or anything that this is a prominent character, I want to see them be mainly, not at all times, but yes, they got to be the focal point. They got to put on a show. This is why you're here. This is why you're sitting down watching. You want to see He-Man kicking ass. Oh, yes, you want his people that are there with him doing stuff too. But he's got to be the one that does something amazing. This She-Ra that has been created, they're treating her, you know what, to me, it's like she's a secondary character. Not her characters and people around her, she is. Because when she transforms, sometimes it's with the left hand, sometimes it's with the right, sometimes it's off screen. But it doesn't feel like you're going from Adora into this powerful warrior of a character that's coming to save the day. It's like Adora is putting on an outfit and still Adora. She talks the same, she acts the same, and does nothing that is, wow, this is a hero that I'd want to come save me. She's still just Adora, so much so that Bo and some of the other characters, when she's She-Ra, in the form of She-Ra, call her Adora. It annoys the hell out of me. That's what I mean. This is what they're not getting. That's why, yes, have a secret identity, just like James Etok said last week. There's good reasons for having a secret identity, but when you take it away and you start leading this nonsense, then what is the importance of even having She-Ra when this is the name of the show, this is the character that should be the powerful one, and you barely see her do anything? Nobody in these groups have posted anything amazing. Wow, did you see this powerful feat of strength that She-Ra did, or this amazing moment? No, all I hear is Catchadora. I'm like, what the hell is a Catchadora? What are you guys talking about? And they said, oh, it's just putting Adora and Catcher together like a relationship, which again, relationships are fine, but that's your focal point of the show, is just saying hashtag Catchadora. And
so they want to say
Adora,
implying that Adora and Catcher are sleeping together. Is that what they're saying they want in a children's cartoon? A cartoon
in a children's cartoon.
Girls, we need to see them, scissoring or something like that.
This is what pisses me off. Is
when I say that too. I just feel like, come on, people.
Well, quickly. This is what pisses me off. They want to attack the fans, the adult fans of Filmation, and not just men, women also.
A bunch of idiots living in our mom's basements, pushing their glasses up on their head, and typing away as trolls.
This was their defense, though. See, they're used to attacking other fandoms when there's females that are finally being focused on, and they like saying men are sexist. They can't jerk off to She-Ra. They can't do this. But you know what? It can't work for She-Ra. Well, no, I'm saying this is what they say. You can't say that about us. We've been watching She-Ra since we were kids, so you can't say we're sexist. We've loved her from the beginning. We just don't like this interpretation because it's lazy, it's boring,
sucks.
it's half-assed.
It's shit.
It's bad.
If the episode orders per season are already going down, that's
not a good sign.
That's not a good sign, right? It has.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Any show that and this goes from like live action sitcoms and dramas or whatever, they always order small, and if it does well, the order for the next season gets bigger to at least 24.
It's going to be less. I think even the next season will be less. But no, here's
the
my
one where
point.
Gina Davis comes in to play Huntara, groundbreaking.
Yeah, and by the way, we already know that. Well, here's the thing. I'll say this calmly, just so the camera can stay on me, and I'll try to just focus on it. We already know that Huntara was based off of Grace Jones, a black woman. So wouldn't that have been the perfect opportunity to, obviously, for this Huntara to come around, to be voiced by a black woman, or at least make her black? Because remember,
that would be racist, because we're assuming all purple people are black, Joe. And that's not very PC now.
See, but no, it's like if they knew their history, they would know that where Huntara was based off of. So no, let's bring in a white woman to
but they don't
do the
have
voice
time
of
for that.
Huntara.
We've got to tell how Adora and
Now,
Catra are going to be caught kissing, behind the whole.
Now let me get
room.
to that. Now this is what I want to get to. I'll try to do this 2 minutes very quickly to explain. I hate that guys are being associated as being perverts, because a guy said something when season 1 was being shown. They said, wow, She-Ra doesn't have boobs. Maybe she have bigger boobs. Here's the thing. Men and women were saying it. But that is not the main focus of why the original Filmation fans were hating the show.
No.
They didn't
and
like
anybody who wants to cling to that, I mean,
yeah.
You get your head way so far up your ass. I mean,
right. But like I said, we didn't like some of the character design choices. We didn't like the animation. We didn't like the art. We didn't like the art. The stories are bland. They're boring. There's no excitement. It's missing the tone of fantasy that we always loved. That's the main concern. But for them to say us guys are upset because She-Ra doesn't have boobs, and this is coming from them, so I'm apologizing for what I say, but they said we can't jerk off to She-Ra. Here's the thing. When we were kids, it's never even a thought. Even as adults, she's our powerful warrior. It's not our thought. When we drew She-Ra back in the day, along with any other character from He-Man or She-Ra, we drew them in action poses, fighting poses. Now, the ones calling us sexist, go to Twitter. Type in #She-Ra. Go to Tumblr. Type in She-Ra.
I'm not going to Tumblr and type in
Well, let me tell
in.
you. Hold up. I just want to. I got to keep this focused because I'll lose a train of thought. Kids, girls from 13, 29 years old, look at the stuff they're drawing. They're not just drawing them kissing. They're drawing them naked, licking each other. Because, Catra, she's a pussy cat, so we already know what we're going to be seeing. They're
Joe,
drawing all this
pussy cat.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is,
they're you.
Well, but what I'm saying is, we're the ones that are supposed to be getting off with all this perverted stuff, and that's all we think of. When we drew our stuff, it was action. Everything they're drawing is perverted. I was like, oh, aren't we the perverts, though? The guys, it's like, it looks like it's just the pot calling the kettle black. That's all you see. I have not seen anything where they're doing any amazing action poses, She-Ra lifting a fucking mountain, kicking a planet, doing something crazy. You don't see that. We drew it, though, so don't call us the sexist ones and the perverts when that's all you're drawing on Tumblr and Twitter. And if I had a mic, I'd drop it, but that's why this show sucks, and I hate it. I hate the hypocrisy of it, and it's not fantasy. It's just boring crap. If you guys like it, you know what I said? Good. If you don't like it, I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and apologize for something I like or don't like.
Joe's viewpoint on this, mine and Nathan's, it's not attacking people who do like it. It's expressing why we don't like it. And that if you don't like it, you are more than entitled to share your opinion as long as you're not attacking people or saying, fuck you, you're showing up or throwing it like gay slurs or being just ugly just for the sake of being ugly. You are entitled to say you think it's shit or it's terrible. The voice acting is just god awful, or this has nothing to do with She-Ra. It's just strictly a light and fluffy show that they've just stole the name and that's how they sell it. Because if it wasn't called She-Ra, no one would give a shit.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. So again, if you guys like it, that's great. But I gave you my honest opinion why I don't like it. Yep, and I gave my opinion honestly of why I don't like it. And as you heard, it had nothing to do with boobs. It all had to do with story arcs, choices of things that don't make sense. Frosta, for fuck's sake, I can't say it enough. She's cold. She says it. Now they got an excuse. Remember how I told you? I was like, okay, Iceman, boom, he's a fucking ice guy. He does not get cold. He's ice. You look at the Human Torch. He's fucking all flames. He does not get hot. But apparently, Frosta has to wear a jacket, and she shoots ice out of her hands where you see her skin. If she had an issue with frost and ice, the second that came out of her hands, it'd be frostbitten and broke off. What does she do now? She uses ice to make armor for her hands and also around her body. And she even says it makes her cold. I'm like, oh, good God. It's like your writing is horrible. There's no logic. But that's my thing on She-Ra. So again, if you guys like it, but I don't. Okay.
I want to ask this, Joe, since you've been kind of perusing around in the different forums, you're saying this is all they had to say. Would you also agree that with season 2 coming around and it seems like that sort of just came out of nowhere, but it also seemed like it came and went without any fanfare. I feel like there's a huge distinct difference between when this came out and when right before season 1. It was.
You make a good point.
Was that noticeable as well?
No, I mean, you make a great point. In all the groups that I belong to, and there's a lot of them that are She-Ra groups, there's just not discussion. And the only discussion is, didn't you like the cool filmation look in that episode 4? Or whatever, the one roll the dice. That is all they say. I'm like, God, if that's all you're saying, that just shows there's no depth and richness to this cartoon. If you can only say, it's cool to see him look like filmation. It's like, oh, but the thing that everybody hates and is stupid, that's what you're praising. So it's like my mind, it's just like, boom, I don't get it.
Yeah, so, it's in that weird space of like, in a way, you kind of want it to succeed to a degree because as we talked about this so many times, like, yes, it does kind of open up a new avenue to where like maybe old stuff could come back. Everyone else can get more of something else that's not like this. They get just more old stuff. Newly released stuff, but it's still like older things, and I agree with that to an extent, but at the same time too, just this should have just been called something else. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
That would mean something if we knew Mattel would not be so gun shy, or the powers that be who own the rights to this, like with Turtles. You know, they canceled the 2012 series, which was quite great. Has its problems, yes, and then they gave us this horse shit that is constantly being berated by fans left and right. The toys aren't selling. Okay. I'm quite sure Playmates and Nickelodeon will try again once they decide to pull the plug on this one. But with like She-Ra and He-Man, it's like one and done. You know,
I miss my fantasy. I just can't say enough. I just wish it would have been fantasy based, left out the Earth vernacular and all that crap, and better character designs and things that are thought out that actually make sense.
If they really wanted, if whatever her name was and her crew really wanted to tell a compelling She-Ra story,
Noelle Stevenson, come on, man, get it right.
Oh yeah, well yeah, because she clearly deserves to get a lot of credit on the show, and I'm kind of happy that I can't even remember her damn name, but anyway. You know, it's just looking at the bare bone basic spine of the She-Ra story. That alone should tell you that is one special. Now, granted, you can't be completely, you know, within the He-Man connection there, but there's still a great story to be told there. And when, you know, they don't want to take the time to come up with a vernacular that would fit within this world, to make these characters likable, that you're too busy to make sure that every member of your supposed audience can relate to this character, as opposed to, oh man, it's a kick-ass character. I would want to be her, or I would want to be him. I can relate because she's got big thighs. I can relate to her. You know,
but you just said it. You don't get that with She-Ra herself. That's what I miss. I miss that warrior that would come in to save the day. The one that when she transformed and that music hit back in the day, you were like, oh shit, it's on now. That was your thoughts. You're like, she's gonna beat some ass. You don't get that feeling out. It's this transformation that sometimes they show the whole thing, sometimes they don't. It's just like an afterthought. And She-Ra, unfortunately, is an afterthought in this cartoon. It's to me, it's just sad. But well, that's that. And again, yeah, thank you for that question. And we had Jobber DG join us in the chat room, and also Ryan Vengentek. And I'm going to be getting to those questions. First, Adam Gabbert said, Joe and Tyler, what are your thoughts on the Masters of the Universe wall plaques, like the ones I see in back of me? No, I always love these things.
I got He-Man over here.
Oh, okay. The thing is,
hate them.
They're awesome. No, I hate them. They suck. They're terrible. No, I wish they would have made more because we only got He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Orko, and Skill.
Those, dude. We should have got a Buzz-Off and a Web Store and a Cobra Con Jitsu.
I wish
we should have got a Jitsu.
Yeah. No, really, I wish they would have made more because I made a custom faker for somebody. And I did glowing eyes.
Get on that. You know,
do some wall plaques.
Bring a subscription for wall plaques. I'll bring for $150.
Yeah,
give me some more damn
give a
wall
lot of
plaques. No more Prince Adam bullshit. Give me some more wall plaques.
You just said it. We're gonna get a Prince Adam wall plaque. So there you go. So shit. All right. Well, Ryan Vegan-Tech. Oh, I know I'm screwing your name. I'm sorry. That says Joe. Are you aware of the Fright Zone?
The two Bobs in Office Space. Not going to be here anymore.
Are you aware if the Fright Zone was ever designed or discussed for classics? I honestly don't think I heard anybody talking about it because there was always decisions people thought, well, what do? You do the vintage toy? Do you take the cartoon one? Do you do amalgamation of them? Because as much as that vintage playset sometimes wants to be hated on people, which I love, it's not the
it's
biggest.
An amazing playset.
It is. It's not the biggest one, but God, for that small little piece you get so much, like action features. From the trap that catches you in the rock, you got the trap door, you got the tree that grabs you, and of course that cool ass puppet. It's like,
and the gel cell and the stairs to go up. I mean, it's like playsets. Sometimes playsets like that tend to be like some of the best, I think.
And I think it would be great to see a new design for that. And if anything, if they wanted to implement the front of how the Fright Zone looks in the cartoon, I'm sure an amalgamation could be done, but I just don't know if it'll ever happen. First, we got to see what happens with Snake Mountain, and you never know in the future. But I don't think I've heard anything about designs. But thank you for that. Do you want to say something, Tyler, about that real quick?
I really wish Super 7 would give us like diorama backgrounds, like give us a nice cardboard printout of the Fright Zone from Filmation or something like that to put behind your Horde figures or a part of the
Whispering Woods.
You're gonna have Whispering Woods like that. Yeah. I would buy like a set of outside of Snake Mountain, interior of Filmation Snake Mountain, or you could have MYP Snake Mountain or something like that. Because I mean, look, these play sets, it's not going to be easy for Super 7 to create all these play sets, even small little diorama sets. So I feel like a nice, vibrant cardboard printout that's quite large and big, for a substantial price that looks like that would look great behind your set of figures. I mean, that's what I would really want. And it would definitely be a hell of a lot less expensive, for someone like me. I just want all the figures. And if I could throw a nice background, which, I bought one from toystages.com of Castle Grayskull, like a mock-up of Castle Grayskull, as like the interior of Castle Grayskull. It looks great behind the figures here. They've got one for Snake Mountain too. But that's what I would want. I
okay.
just, not to,
I also want to say, I see you got. But... No, I do. No, it's cool. And I did notice that you have Hero in back you. I didn't know you got Hero.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, let's see him.
That was did you get yours, Joe?
No, I did not, but let's see that bad boy.
Oh, here he is in all his glory, man. When I finally held him in my hand, it was this wave of, oh my God, like it's finally happened. I own this prototype picture that I'd only seen on He-Man.org or the Adam Tyner website back in the day. So,
that's awesome. I love the shine when you were moving it, the shine from the vac metal.
It's like the first piece of sword gleaming in the sun there. It's beautiful. And I got Eldor here too.
Oh, you got Eldor. Yeah, okay, we'll see him. I didn't know you got him.
Are you kidding? Like, I'm not going to get them both. What the hell's the matter with you? Yeah. Here he is, man.
That's awesome. Do his wrists swivel?
No, they're pretty much, well, I'll be damned. They do.
Nope, yeah.
I was just saying, the minute I got them, it was like, they got to go on the shelf now. So yes, they actually did that way. He can now hold the book more prominently because I thought, he can't hold this book. And I guess I should have watched someone's review of these figures because I probably would have, I wouldn't have even noticed that.
Well, you just learned something right now. It just happened. Bam. It's just right on the
That's
right
when the Reading Rainbow sound effect would work pretty good. Bum. But
what about his
mini comics, though? They include these little booklets that look like mini comics that kind of give you a little history of the character with Mattel. Like it includes like artwork from the Power and Honor Foundation of like Hero and Eldor, the concept drawings, what the characters were going to be, how they were going to be used. They're actually fun little, and they have like cool little covers too, but they're turned over, kind of like the New Adventures of He-Man comics, where they blend in with the card back and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But and I want to keep the card back for those. That's probably the only ones I probably will keep. But the Book of Spells doesn't come with holograms though. But it's let me open it.
What's in the Book of Spells?
It's like little insert pictures. I don't want to break this.
Oh no! If you think you might break it, don't.
It's just trying to remember how to open it here because it's not as shit.
Oh, broke it.
Oh, here we are. Here we are.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just these little insert drawings of you've got like a small one of the T-Rex here. They've got one of Hero, and there's one of He-Man, Earl McCarthy's drawing of He-Man riding Bionatops.
Okay.
And then one of Eldor. I'll just kind of show them up for people who don't have them or bought them or don't have them in hand yet. So not the holograms that we were going to get, I think, with the actual figure back in the day, but the book itself, it's pretty big. That if you Well, even that doesn't really hold in his hands very well. So I don't know how the hell he's going to hold this thing. So I just kind of have to prop it up next to him as if he's holding it underneath him because it's a big damn
All right.
book. But
All right.
believe me, it's well worth the wait for these guys. I thought we'd never get these things. So
Good. No, definitely. Thanks for sharing those. That's pretty cool.
I meant to even bring that up, but I'd completely forgotten. So
okay. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that. That was just a question for me, believe it or not. But okay.
Thanks, Joe.
Hey, you're welcome. Fedmon. Well, remember we said anything, so I'm gonna maybe pass it even to Nathan. Fedmon said, "Hey, what do you think of the return of the 80s jazzercise craze? Apparently, ladies are working out to those old VHS exercise tapes now. Hey, whatever the hell, getting down with some jazzercise is pretty cool. What about you, Nathan? Did you order a tape?
I'm all for it. Bring back the Thigh Master. Let's do this.
Yeah, we'll get what's her name, Jane Fonda, to come back and start doing those old workout tapes. Billy Gifford.
And Suzanne Summers. Yeah,
bring back the Thigh Master.
Yeah, well, that's what I just said.
Oh yeah.
He's getting like me. I'm the one that's supposed to be senile. Like, Joe, I just said that. Like, oops, sorry, Tyler. All right, thanks for that, Fedmon.
It's my face red.
Yeah. Well, like this. Zentron said that quote was from Friday the 13th Part 4. It's what Brenda said. Oh, Christ. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. I don't remember that quote, Zentron.
Joe's
but you
not
got
your
me.
fan.
I'm not a real Friday the 13th fan. It's all fake. And Ryan Vengentek said I've been showing a lot of side face. Yeah, sorry, it's just the design of the mask screwed me up. Let's see. Jabber DG said, seeing all the hate for this She-Ra cartoon, it's no wonder the new Thundercats is a no-show. Yeah, that new Thundercats, man, that just disappeared.
That's not happening. That is never happening.
I've never in my life seen that kind of backlash for anything. If you think that people went nuts for She-Ra, that Thundercats, I think they said it even got more dislikes apparently than that new Ghostbusters trailer or something. Yeah, that I think it went away, or maybe
so. It deserves every single bit of that.
I don't know if they're gonna try to redesign or anything, but
they're probably just like, well, I guess people just don't like Thundercats, so we just ain't gonna do it. Because Warner Bros. Is like that. The minute people like something that they give the okay. We can't classics. We can't do that. That's not dumbed down enough. It's not funny enough. We can't. It's not cancel that. It never fails though. Thundercats always seem like it's snake bit. The minute something good starts going with it, it gets canned. The Thundercats vintage line did not last long. The original cartoon only went for 2 seasons. Well, technically, like kind of 3 seasons, but still short-lived. When it was brought back, it was short-lived. When we started getting the classics line, it was short-lived. The Bandai line was short-lived. Everything is short-lived. It just feels like they can't get anybody who really knows how to deliver a great Thundercat series in charge and make sure that the people are getting something that they clearly deserve. But until they start making smarter decisions, hiring someone who really knows how to deliver a great Thundercat series.
Yeah, there's always
I work for a rookie rate. I will earn a high salary. I will work my way up the corporate ladder and show you assholes how it can be done.
I told those cock gobblers I like Michael Bolton's music.
Yeah. Well, you guys can see my ass.
but it shows no matter what you like.
We're not being chauvinist pigs here. We're quoting Office Space. People.
Yeah.
I'd hope most people have seen that. But no, that's the thing is no matter what you love or hate, when it seems like you do bring up something you don't like, you'll get called a name depending on what it is. Like the people that didn't like the new She-Ra were somehow sexist, which makes, again, no sense if we loved it back then. And the Thundercat fans, they couldn't call them sexist. They just were called man babies. It was like no matter what you do, if you don't like something, you're called a name. It's like,
I'll say this. If any of you out there, or who watching this, but clearly if you're watching this, you're already smart anyway. Or listening to this. But if you know anybody who thought it was a priority to call people man babies who didn't like that, you're an asshole.
Right.
And I want you to let them know that too. Tell them I said it. And if they say who, I don't care. Just
then she'll picture you like this dude right here.
The picture would be like all the illustrations that Axel and Kevin have done with his face on it. It's like, what? You don't know this guy?
I mean, look at him. He's pure 240 pounds of muscle here, people.
Right?
No steroids. It can be done.
Oh, that's not possible. But well, Ryan, Vegan Tech, again,
He said
one
just
of-
Ryan will do. By the way.
Oh, just right. Okay, good.
Tired of Joe butchering his name.
It's like every
Just
time I
call
say
me
it, it's
Ryan,
a different
damn
one.
it.
I'm just gonna call you out. Yeah, right. Okay, Ryan says, did you know that the book is reversible for Eldor? That I guess that he said it opens both sides or something. 2 picks from one side, 2 picks if you open on the other side. And then he snaps it live. He's like, God damn it, Ryan, thanks for that tip.
Well, I'll be damned.
Oh, there you go. See, you're learning everything about Eldor today. He learned from me about the wrists. He learned about the book from Ryan. See, there you
Well,
go.
because
It's like-
I just put them on the shelf and display them prominently. I'm not. I just not one who goes. Oh yes. Oh, look at that. I just
well, it's still
don't do
cool
all
to
that.
see.
Yes, it is cool. But just you're making me look like an asshole on the podcast here. Both of you, Ryan Vegan Clark, or whatever your name is. You know.
Do they really have to do anything to make you look like an asshole on the podcast?
No, not really.
Oh, that was.
You know.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I pretty much do my own fair share of people saying, God, that guy, he's like all stuck on himself and having people draw himself all the time, thinks he's so cool and thinks, muscles and stuff, thinks stuff about him. He don't know nothing. He's just a sexist pig like Asa Slater.
Hey, speaking of things of people thinking or doing for other people on the podcast, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you guys have extra classics that you would like to sell on the cheap, or if you
or free,
or you want to be generous that way, I'm willing to pay, but not ridiculous eBay.
Don't be
prices.
asking for $150 for a Beastman Classics figure, all right?
But if you guys have any extras that are taking up space that you don't want anymore, feel free to hit me up or leave a comment or to find a way to communicate with Joe, since he's kind of like the cult leader around here. Find a way to get in contact with me. Let me know what you got. And
Nathan needs them figures. He's like, please help the children.
And he is
like
actually buying this stuff. Like, this is not something he's in the heat of it. Like, Nathan is like hitting me up every day.
Yeah,
I just bought this guy. I just bought Triclops. I just bought Trapjaw. I'm looking to get a Jitsu and a Stinkor. Like, he is building up a classic collection. So he is legitimately interested in getting ones, at reasonable price.
Not like I'm not gonna get everybody, but just I'm
well,
formulating a list. But you look at that stuff on eBay, and I'm like $150. No, sorry, just
you better
can't.
off getting a vintage Beast, man, men on card for that price.
Yeah.
Well, JSP is wishing you the best of luck on that, Nathan. So
because he's like, I'm not giving you shit.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Oh, geez. But no, I wanted to thank all you guys. I mean, again, I hope you're here next week, but I really want to thank you guys for helping put us over 200 last week. And it's a slow build, but it's good to see. And I know that those numbers compared to, as I said earlier before, with all these other podcasts are not a lot, but it means a lot to know that you guys are liking, listening to us, and hopefully enjoying what we have to say. It does mean a lot.
Yeah, when we go past 200, like in the vast scope of things, when some idiot's just sitting there saying, "This is Eldor. He was a prototype. He never came out." Subscribe and check out my podcast on Fridays too, when I talk about who's going to be in the NFL draft in 2025, something like that. Boom. End of the video. The guy's got 100 million subscribers and views and whatever, But 200 to us, because we realize that this property is dwindling in popularity more and more every year. It feels like there's a lot of casual fans, the hardcore fan base who is actually interested to hear what we have to say about this stuff. It's small potatoes. We understand that. So everybody that takes time to download it on iTunes or Podbean or watch us on YouTube and makes a comment on YouTube or whatever, sends Nathan like, "Hey, you can tell that asshole who thinks he's so big to stop talking about himself too much." We appreciate you take the time to listen to what we have to say about, the vintage property, the NYP cartoon, the live action movie, and guests and stuff like that. I'm trying to get Axel on the podcast next weekend. He has agreed to come on.
Oh,
he's got the stuff to do it, but I've just got to push him to make sure he told me I think it would be this Sundays when he said he could do it. So I'm going to talk with him.
Okay.
It may not happen. I don't know. It's not guaranteed, but he said he would do it. So I'm hoping Axel will finally, after all this time, will finally sit down and join us. If he does, we'll talk either have an Evil Horde discussion or a Snake Men discussion, kind of discuss like the factions themselves. But if not, we'll come up with something, and we'll force Nathan to be a part of it the whole time, where he's like like Garth in Wayne's World. And Joe's like, "Do you ever see Scanners, Tyler?" And just wait for Nathan's head to blow up on the podcast.
You're right, David. But no, it does. It means a lot, and that's why, I'm never going to tell you guys do some super chat, whatever the hell I was being asked about. Like I said, I'm never going to say I don't want you super chatting or moneying us in this damn live on this show. You're just going to listen to it. I mean, again, we're not that big. So
we are a charity. That's what we are here. We're just donating time and substance for free. And, people probably fling shit at us and tell us to get out of our way because we're not talking about figure reviews or something like that. Or
Speaking of charity and donations, if you guys want to swing any of those classic figures this way.
Preferably, I want to make sure that Nathan gets a Jitsu, a web store, and a Cobra Con, and a Clawful.
There you go.
Make sure he gets those.
Yeah.
He'll take the classics figures. You guys can send me any cheap, old, dated food, anything you want. You can send that to me.
Even if it's half eaten, and I'll just send this to Joe. He'll eat it.
Look how much meat this guy left in his burger. It always makes me think of that episode of Married with Children when Kelly was working at the diner. Remember, she was bringing all the food home and the curly fries. It looks like a mouse's tail. And go ahead, Nathan. Sorry.
I was gonna say Joe loves hot sauces and hot foods, so I would recommend if you guys want to send him anything food related, send him some hot sauces.
I would do that. And Jason Cowie just joined us in the chat room and said, first time checking it out, really enjoying. And we appreciate that, Jason. And you can, like I said, try to join us next week. We'd love to have you here. And if you didn't, and for everybody else, if you haven't liked, subscribe, shared, ring the bell, make sure you do it down there and you always get notified, Jason. So anytime we go live,
spread the word. We did what?
JSP says, believe it or not, I actually have Kool-Aid packs from 1989. Send those to Joe.
I'll stir it.
I'm just curious if it's like the Great Blue Dini, Sharkleberry Fin, or Purple Stars. Boy, those are so good. God, I'd love to try that again one time.
Hell yeah, send it to me. I'll pop that in some stuff live. I mean, I sat there and
Joe starts yakking.
No, Joe, you gotta put it on the table in front of you and snort it like cocaine.
Yeah. It's got residue in his face.
No, but just to let you know, in Scareglow's house, again, if you guys aren't a member there on Facebook, send a request. You can say Joe sent you. But Scareglow's house, like I said, first I did those Bean Boozle things, which are horrible. Then I ate the Death Nuts. And this coming week, I don't know the day, I think somebody's going to be sending me crickets, a black scorpion, and a tarantula to eat live. So I'll be doing that in Scareglow's house.
So like that episode of Saved by the Bell where Zach's having like caramel caterpillars and stuff like that. Is that
this honestly just sounds like a circus act. Like, come see the masked man eat weird things.
Yeah, Joe's lined up. Nathan's out front with like a big ringmaster's hat. For 10 cents, you can see him watch him eat horse shit. Just.
I'll do hell. I mean, remember I ate that over 30-year-old Batman gum that one time. So yeah, I'll drink some Kool-Aid.
Well, why don't you do this to encourage views for the podcast?
Yeah, you know what? That's honestly, Joe. What you need to do is film it in video form and send it to me in Messenger or something, or upload it to the Google Drive. I can show you how to do that since you have your account. Upload the video up there. I'll take the link, download the video, and then upload all this stuff to the channel. It's like Joe eats old shit. Number 3.
Well, hey, Grim was asked. He says, you're gonna eat what now? No, I'm gonna have first crickets. They'll be fine because they're seasoned.
I mean, they're alive, but they're seasoned. But
no. And then there's gonna be a black scorpion, and then a tarantula.
We're talking. What's his name from WCW?
Wait, what?
The Masked Wrestler.
Oh, Black Scorpion. That
Black
shitty
Scorpion.
Angle. Okay. Yeah.
I think Nathan would jump right to that immediately and go, shocked.
Well, no, I'm already thinking about, like, are these, like, chocolate covered or anything? Or
no.
Just like...
what they do is they, how do they do that where they, I'm not saying freeze dried. What is that term to where...
Deterred?
Oh, God, I hate that. I hope somebody pops up to help me out in the chat room, but there's a phrase of it. But either way, they come like in a little package. You open them up. They're they're dead. But they're salty or they're like.
I would hope that they would be dead. God,
yeah,
Joe.
it'd be like a potato. It'd be like a potato chip. But yeah, I'll be doing that. So if you guys want to check it out, but no, like I said, all the new people that popped up today.
Joe would have like a great one of those Food Network shows where he's just wandering back alleys and stuff. This is a rare find here, people. Check back next week. You won't believe what I found in this dumpster. You
want to hear something weird? I honestly don't think it's disgusting, and it's not when I tell you.
Wait, hang on. I want to take a second to prepare for this because every time we start talking about random things, Joe's like, "Well, I got a story for you."
I've had deep fried cow udders before, and actually they're considered a delicacy here in parts unknown.
Well, this isn't in your head. You think it might be disgusting, but it's not. But I was over at my sister's, and my other sister was there as well, and I was giving her rabbits some of the rabbit treats, and they said, "Why don't you try one?" I was like, "They smell kind of good," and I popped it in and ate. I was like, "That tasted fine." I was like, "These are all natural ingredients," and I gave one to my sister. She bit it for 3 seconds, spit it out, almost puked, but it was good. I had a rabbit treat. It wasn't bad. It was good. It was just natural, ingredients. It's not like it's made.
I mean, dog
so do you eat bird seed
Joe.
too, like covered in peanut butter?
It sounds like you send it to me. I'll eat it. So I'll eat it. So oh god, yeah. I don't know what happened here at the end, but
you
yeah,
know,
newer
can we
people.
turn this into something like if you watch the podcast, Joe will eat weird shit. It's like it's like one of those Jerry's Kids things. We need your donations instead of we need views, and we'll just keep upping the ante. If we reach this many views, then Joe will shove a corn cob up his ass or something like that. And then
Hey, and I could always do it at the end of the show. But you're right. Maybe you guys could send me stuff, and at the end of the show, I'll eat whatever crazy thing you send me. Yeah, because that's I like that. But yeah, remember, if you're new to it, make sure you subscribe down there and ring the bell, like it. So
that's
like
what we'd have to call that segment "Eat It Joe's," and then that's what we'd have. Like Joe is eating, whatever monstrosity. Because Joe was really fit for that one show that was on. I don't know if it's still on. It's like weird. No, reindeer balls and all that shit. No.
Okay.
That one show, it was like the odd is like weird foods. Like this guy would travel around all over the world and just eating the weirdest foods that were served in various parts of the world. I don't remember what it's called because I just something I saw in passing, but it was like, really oddball foods, like not your, not like frog legs or something. We're just really weird stuff, but that was, I guess, considered a common practice in this part of the world or whatever.
Yeah, like some of them had monkey brains and other things, not
like
just from Indiana Jones. Yeah, they really did. I mean, I've eaten a lot of crazy things, and it's good. Yes, I've had monkey brains. I've had chicken brains. I've had.
How about eyeball soup?
Have not had eyeball soup.
How about baby snakes out of the stomach of a giant python?
He's gonna go with everything. No, but no. Like I said, the things that aren't disgusting, like when you think of chicken gizzard and livers and hearts, those are real good.
That still sounds kind of disgusting, Joe.
No, they really are delicious. Fry them up, but yeah, because Fedmon said with Joe's immune
Joe
system,
has like this massive deep fryer in the back of his house. He just dumps everything in there, like how Mo had in Mo's family feed bag, and he's got like that giant deep fryer.
I like that.
Yeah, that's what Joe has in the back of his house.
Because Fedmon said with Joe's immune system, he could walk into the CDC and lick everything in sight and come out without a sniffle.
No, you know what? I think out of the three of us, I think Joe gets sick the most. Oddly enough.
Well, you know what's funny is just a few weeks ago, that was a weird last-minute cold. But beyond that, I usually am great for not getting colds. Like, I think when I went to school, and this ain't exaggerating, I missed 2 days in my entire life. 2 days of school. That was it from being sick. I was at school every day. So, and it's a testament to the hot stuff. So, Nathan, if you're going live later, let everybody know that you're going to do another shot of insanity. Oh, okay.
Wait,
but
what?
No, Nathan, are you going to maybe do another live stream later? Play some games. If you do, let people know that you might take a potato chip or something and pour some of that Dave's Insanity. You got to do something to get people.
No, I'm not. No, I am not. No. No.
He's punking out.
No,
okay.
Oh, sorry, Joe. Not all of us sit here and enjoy torturing our bodies with hot things.
It's not torture. It's great. I'm telling you, it tastes good. But I'll have to wait for Tyler to get back.
Yeah, says the man that eats monkey brains and camel balls and.
But it's good stuff when you, like I said, are flavoring it up. It is. Grimbot said, "Yeah, Tyler must have left to go barf."
No, he's just got the bladder of a ant.
Yeah, because I don't want to wrap the show up with him.
I'm kind of honestly surprised because Tyler and I went to go see John Wick 3 earlier today, and he picked me up and we went there, and he drank a whole bottle of water and we watched the entire movie. And it's over 2 hours, and when we got out of the movie, he didn't even have to go pee. I was honestly kind of surprised.
He might be letting it go right now. He's going to be there for like probably 10 minutes. It's like going to be like a horse just going and going. But yeah, next week if we get Axel, that would be great because I know he loves Aaron McCarthy's art and Alcala, and then I know he would like to talk about, just like Tyler said, probably the Horde, the Snake Man. I think Modulok might even be one of his favorite characters of the Horde. I think so. Always a good man. Anybody that likes Modulok. I'm doing something that for a customer right now. He wants this crossover with Scareglow as a type of Modulok character. So he had all these, I don't know how it happens, but he had extra Scareglow legs. And he was like, do you think you could try to sculpt a tail or something, attach those legs and do a two-headed Scareglow thing? So I'll have to be doing a lot of sculpting for it, but it'd be cool.
We just got a message from JSP, and oddly enough, that Kool-Aid, Tyler, if you're there already, he's not. He's too busy.
He's here. Tyler's here.
No, something just happened there.
Oh, we just went to an image. We can't hear him.
Yeah. It is the Purple Source Rex.
Oh, he does have the purple.
Yeah, send that.
I'll drink it. I'll drink it. Send it to me. I'll put it in a bottle. I'll shake it right in front of you guys. Add a little bit of sugar, and I'll drink it live. I was going to say my closing, but I can't hear Tyler because he can't see his quote.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him.
You send him a message? That's weird. He might have just hit a button by accident.
Oh no! Yeah.
There he is.
No, he dropped out. Let's get him back. Oh, there he is.
Back.
There he is.
Shit.
You ruined the show.
Sorry. There we go.
It's
okay, he had a Joe moment.
Tyler, that's Kool-Aid is Purple Source Rex.
Oh, holy hell, man! That's awesome.
Wait, what are we looking at? His feet? Or there we go. Okay.
He's not wearing any pants.
All right, yeah, because I couldn't close it. I couldn't close it without you because you have to do your quote. But let me say again, loved having you guys here each week. And this week it was great. Hope you come on next week. You already heard me about the subscribe and ringing the bell and share. Make sure you do that. So until next time, have a powerful day.
It's angels to some, demons to others.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's my quote.
Angels to some, demons to others.
That would be the classic mid-90s film The Craft with Nev Campbell.
Is it really? Wow.
No, but what a reference. I'll give Nathan credit. Oh, damn it.
This is great. This is worse than me. Wow. I usually have it once. This has been 8 times.
All right. Now it should be good now. All right. We're good. Yes.
Okay.
Demons to some, angels to others is the quote.
God, I should know that. I mean, that sounds like something, but I don't. Angels to some. It's got to be somebody that protects, probably. And what movie did that shit? Fuck, I don't know. Damn it, I hate not knowing. What is it? And make me look dumb.
Hellraiser.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow, I should have known that. If it was especially the first one, because I did watch that enough.
The first one,
I didn't watch this. Yeah, because I didn't watch all the sequels a lot. I watched some of them literally once, and some of those later ones I've never even seen when they started going really far off.
Well, clearly, Joe, you are the equivalent of a He-Man casual fan, because you clearly are a casual horror fan, Joe.
Yeah, I guess
Friday
so.
The 13th. You don't get Hellraiser. You're just a poser. You go to Walmart, Hot Topic, buy your Jason shirts, and say, "I'm a big fan, man. Look at this cheap ass shirt I bought." We're not a fan.
Just to get the girls. Jason Cowie did say Hellraiser.
You got Jason figures in the back of you. I'm a big fan, man. Look at all this little cute Jason stuff I bought.
Yeah, one girl sold me on a little, believe it or not, a little pencil that had a Jason figure on the end. Just this week, I got it over there.
Did you get a date with her?
No, but I want to show you what she talked me into. Hold on a second, Lee. Without knocking everything over. Where the hell is that? Goddamn,
it just turns out it's like quick? Her and some other girl just chained up in his basement. We don't know.
Drag the body bag over.
Yeah, this was pretty cool.
59 minutes.
Yep, see? Friday the 13th. It's got this little teeny Jason figure on it.
It's the whole cute stuff. Man, I'm sick of all the cute stuff. Why can't we see back to the grittiness and it's all got to be
I'll buy
cute,
whatever
fluffy.
they sell me. Anything they sell me, I'll tell you that, boy.
Did you have to buy 2 dozen T-shirts to get that free or something like that?
No, I just bought it. This is literally the only damn thing they had. They had nothing else. I was looking for something. This is all they had Jason-wise. And I was like, well, God, I got to get my fix. So.
You have like a pencil holder for that or something?
No pencil holder, but I could put it in the big Jason's hand like a weapon if I wanted, but shit, that's it. All right, see you guys next time.